A little patience makes disembarking hassle-free. And lastly, hygiene and health. Of course, hygiene matters. Always cover your mouth when sneezing or coughing. Use sanitizers and keep your space tidy. Clean habits make for healthier skies. Flying is not just about reaching your destination, it's also about the experience we share along the way. With these simple etiquettes, we can all make air travel smoother, calmer, and more enjoyable. Praise Peters for Voice of the People TV.
In a world where truth is the ultimate power and opinions scream the loudest, it's time to wade through the noise.
Hunger no get tribe! Hunger no get religion!
And scan the human interest and trending topics that matter. Stay tuned to The Issues, your plug to the stories making the buzz, from politics to science and technology, social justice, and more. Let's tackle the tough questions and expose the truth. The Issues on Voice of the People Television, Mondays to Fridays, 8 to 9 p.m. The Issues. Don't just react, understand.
Behind every broken desk lies a broken promise. Education shapes the nations. But who is asking the right questions? Introducing Edu Dialogue, the show that goes beyond the surface, exposes the cracks, the corruption, and the silence in Nigeria's education system. Edu Dialogue, Saturdays, 3 p.m., only on VOP TV. We break the biggest stories, from missing funds to policy failures. We ask the tough questions and demand real answers. Edu Dialogue, this Saturday, 3 p.m. on Voice of the People Television.
Welcome to the locker room, the home of football talk that matters. I am Jerry Aviation. Join us every weekday, Monday to Friday at 5 p.m. Nigerian time, as we share the hot takes and hot debates in the exciting world of football. And joining me are the usual suspects, Ikechukwu and Mayowa, as we break down all the hot takes and everything that's happening in the football. Don't just watch football, live it with us. Catch us on the locker room and Voice of the People Television at 5 p.m. Nigerian time. And like I always say, if not 20 minutes off, please discuss.
And it's Hakim Ziyech who puts the Atlas.
We encourage you to click on the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are Voice of the People TV. Also follow us on all our social media platforms. We are at VOP TV Live. Visit our website www.vop.ng for fresh and trending news. Also watch us live on SLTV channel 264. VOP TV, Voice of the People Television.
Good evening, Africa. My name is Bamakore, actor, model, producer, and I'm giving a big shout out to VOP TV, man. Keep watching. Don't change the dial. Thank you and God bless you.
My name is AY, and of course, I represent the voice of the people, and that's why I'm on VOP.
AY say so.
Hi everyone, it's your girl Miriam Tima from the Real Housewives of Lagos and the Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip Africa. Shout out to VOP, the voice of the people. You already know. Stay tuned, keep watching. And don't forget, VOP is the best.
All right, hello, everyone. It's a brother Shaggy, the man fine back with Melanie Poppy Black Skin Boy. This is VOP TV. If you're not watching VOP, I don't know what you're watching. Maybe you're watching your weight.
Hello, beautiful people. This is Wale Ojo, and you're watching VOP, Voice of the People.
Hi, guys. You already know who it is. This is New Energy. Flyers, whatever, live it. Keep watching VOP TV. Thank you.
Hi, people. Ginny Albano here. Guys, please keep watching Voice of the People.
The red carpets, awards, the razzmatazz, music, fashion, interviews, and more. Spotlight on Voice of the People television. Let's feed you with all the juicy stories in the global entertainment space, bringing you the glitz and glamour as they hot. Stay tuned to Spotlight, 1 p.m. Monday to Friday. Spotlight on VOP TV. Entertainment like never before. Join us as we drive into the world of politics through insightful interviews with prominent political figures, both serving and former governors, ministers, senators, legislators, party chieftains, activists, and analysts. Get first-hand information into the decision-making processes that affect our daily lives. Highly engaging one-hour program that brings political discourse into focus.
I am Chukwuma Okoro.
Political Lens, Monday through Friday, 6 to 7 p.m. Join us. Do you want your voice to be heard? Do you know that you matter in the scheme of things? The People's Voice, the show where ordinary citizens take center stage as we discuss the biggest stories that affect you and I. With you in mind, we facilitate lively discussions, debates, and interviews on the topics that matter most to you and I. From social justice to economic empowerment, education to healthcare, governance, and more. Tackling tough topics and amplifying your voice. Join the conversation and make your voice count. The People's Voice. Make your voice count.
Africa is on the move, a continent of rising voices, untold stories, and powerful transformations. From the streets of Lagos to the heart of Nairobi, from the mines of Congo to the tech labs of Cape Town, the African story is being written every day. Bold, dynamic, unstoppable. This is Africa News on Voice of the People television. We don't just bring you the news. We analyze and bring you Africa's heartbeat, the politics that shapes our nations, the economies that drives our future, the cultures that defines who we are, the voice that must be heard. Africa News, Africa's voice, Africa's future. Where Africa speaks, the world listens.
In a world where power shifts with every headlines, news breaks and events happens, we bring you unbiased and explicit information on politics, economy, and state of the nation. We break down the chaos. Facts, not fluff. Truth, not spin. We discuss not just politics, but a glimpse into the future. Voice of the People television. Now you have more than a voice. In a world where power shifts with every headline.
In a nation full of questions.
In a world filled with noise, the truth needs the voice.
The policies that shapes our world and the economy that determines our future.
Every hour, every day, the grapevine keeps buzzing. And together, we are committed to telling the stories that shape our world because your voice is our focus.
Don't forget,
our voice matters the most. Let us come together and share our concerns.
Hello there, my name is Damilola Ogunsi, also known as the Goldfish.
Hi, my name is Chiki Bright Emmanuel. I'm an actor and a filmmaker.
Hello peeps, my name is Yomi E. Adejimo.
Hi everyone, I'm Paul Utomi.
Hi everyone, my name is Stacey Benjamin and this is Voice of the People TV.
I need you to keep it locked to VOP TV. See, are you looking for good entertainment? You want to get good movies, good music, politics, talk shows, sports and entertainment. You really want a channel that gives you everything you need without you having to run around. VOP is where you are. That's Voice of the People.
If you're not listening to this, you're not one of us. And you deserve to be killed. Scrap chat. Don't be killed, but watch it. Or I'll find you. And I want you.
And you are locked on VOP TV. Don't go nowhere. This is where the juice is. This is where all you need for entertainment, politics, movies, and whatnot.
And keep watching VOP TV.
So keep it locked because I'm locked already, man, and it's money back guarantee. So you're gonna have a good time because I do.
And please keep watching VOP TV.
I won't want to actually. I beg you, subscribe, watch it. If not, whatever you see.
You better not touch that die because VOP is the plot.
Are you ready for the extraordinary? Something big is happening on your screen. Introducing VOP TV. Now streaming on SLTV channel 264. From breaking news to captivating conversations, news analysis, giving you all sides to the story. We break in-depth discussions on the issues that matter, from politics to sports, entertainment, and lifestyle. VOP TV on SLTV channel 264. Join us as we redefine what television means to you. Voice of the People Television, VOP TV. Now you have more than a voice. VOP TV. Now you have more than a voice.
Air travel is one of the most exciting ways to journey across the world, but it also requires a little courtesy to make the skies friendlier for everyone. Now these are some essential flight etiquette. Boarding. Boarding is smoother when we all follow instructions. Stick to your boarding group, keep your pass handy, and step aside quickly once you find your seat. A little order goes a long way in getting everyone on board faster. Overhead bins. Now these are for everyone. Place your larger bags above and keep smaller items under the seat in front of you. That way, there's enough space for all passengers and fewer delays. Phone use. Now this, once the aircraft door closes, all devices must be in flight mode. A simple switch helps keep communication safe and smooth for both crew and passengers. Talking about the middle seat rule, the unwritten rule says this: if you are in the middle seat, both armrests are yours. It's a small courtesy that can make flying more comfortable for all. Noise levels. Keep conversations and devices at a reasonable volume. Headphones are a traveler's best friend, and courtesy in the cabin ensures a peaceful flight for everyone. Talking about disembarking. When the plane lands, don't rush the arm.
Gamble with lives, which truths were grounded before they even ever had wings. If you've ever buckled a seatbelt at 30,000 feet, if you've ever stared out of that tiny window and wondered who's really in control of the skies, it isn't just flight, it's power, it's politics, it's pressure sealed in steel. We're peeling back the clouds from runway risks to sky-high secrets. We're diving deep where most dare not to look. Aviation Scope, every Sunday at 7 p.m. only on Voice of the People TV. We don't just report, we reveal. We don't just ask, we uncover. Because when it comes to the skies, ignorance is just the beginning.
Good evening, Africa. My name is Bamakore, actor, model, producer, and I'm giving a big shout out to VOP TV, man. Keep watching. Don't change the dial. Thank you and God bless you.
My name is AY, and of course, I represent the voice of the people, and that's why I'm on VOP. AY say so.
Hi everyone, it's your girl Miriam Tima from the Real Housewives of Lagos and the Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip Africa. Shout out to VOP, the voice of the people. You already know. Stay tuned, keep watching. And don't forget, VOP is the best.
Alright, hello, it's about that shaking the man fine back with Melanie Poppy Black Skin Boy. This is VOP TV. If you're not watching VOP, I don't know why you're watching. Maybe you're watching your weight. Bye.
Hello, beautiful people. This is Wale Ojo, and you're watching VOP, Voice of the People.
Hi, guys. You already know who it is. This is New Energy. Flyers boy ever living. Keep watching VOP TV. Thank you.
Hi, people. Jenny Albano here. Guys, please keep watching Voice of the People.
In a world where power shifts with every headline.
In a nation full of questions.
In a world filled with noise, the truth needs voice.
Policies that shapes our world and the economy determines our future.
Every hour, every day, great keeps buzzing. And together, we are committed to telling the story shape our world because your voice is over.
Our voice matters the most. Let us come together and share our concerns.
Mr. Ofamilani, and here's to VOP TV. Keep watching, stay tuned, do not touch that dial.
My name is Made Kuti, and you're watching VOP TV. Keep watching.
Welcome, my name is Zika Davis. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, boys, viewers, everybody, boys and girls. This is VOP TV. Do you know what that means? Voice of the People TV. You don't have a voice, don't come here. You better make sure your voice is heard.
Are you ready for the extraordinary? Something big is happening on your screen. Introducing VOP TV. Now streaming on SLTV channel 264. From breaking news to captivating conversations, news analysis, giving you all sides to the story. We break in-depth discussions on the issues that matter, from politics to sports, entertainment, and lifestyle. VOP TV on SLTV channel 264. Join us as we redefine what television means to you. Voice of the People Television, VOP TV. Now you have more than a voice. In a world where truth is the ultimate power and opinions scream the loudest, it's time to wade through the noise.
Hunger no get tribe. Hunger no get religion.
And scan the human interest and trending topics that matter. Stay tuned to the issues. Your plug to the stories making the buzz, from politics to science and technology, social justice, and more. Let's tackle the tough questions and expose the truth. The issues. On Voice of the People Television. Don't just react. Understand.
A very good evening to you and welcome to another exciting episode of the Issues on Voice of the People Television, where we bring you the most important and pressing issues shaping our nation today. I am your host, Nenna Ndomdioto, and apologies for starting a little bit late. Today on the Issues, we're examining the complexities of Nigeria's politics and governance. from Donald Trump disclosing that the U.S. worked with federal government to launch Christmas airstrike, to Kaduna government receiving 183 rescued worshippers. Also, EZEKWESILI and CSOs called for real-time electronic transmission of results. And finally, Turaki-led PDP condemns INEC's recognition of Wike-led PDP. Join us as we break down the fact and provide context to help you stay informed. We'll take a short break, and when we return, we'll dig deeper into these topics. Don't go away.
That determines our voice matters the most. Let us come together and share our concerns.
Mr. Ofan, and here is to VOP TV. Keep watching, stay tuned.
B.
Boys, viewers, everybody, boys and girls, this is VOP TV. Do you know what that means? Voice of the People TV. You don't have a voice, don't come here. You better make sure your voice is heard.
Are you ready for the extraordinary? Something big is happening on your screen. Introducing VOP TV. Now streaming on SLTV channel 264. From breaking news to captivating conversations, news analysis, giving you all sides to the story. We break in-depth discussions on the issues that matter, from politics to sports, entertainment, and lifestyle. VOP TV on SLTV channel 264. Join us as we redefine what television means to you. Voice of the People Television, VOP TV. Now you have more than a voice.
Glad to have you back. You're still watching the issues on Voice of the People television. Let's dive straight into what we have for today. United States President Donald Trump says the U.S. worked closely with Nigeria to launch the Christmas Day airstrike against ISIS targets, describing the operation as part of broader counterterrorism efforts. In a related development, the defense headquarters says the Nigeria-US security partnership is focused on strengthening capacity building, intelligence sharing, and joint counterterrorism operations. According to the DHQ, cooperation with the United States has helped improve operational effectiveness against insurgent and extremist groups operating within and around Nigeria. Meanwhile, the United States has denounced the recent killings in Kwara State, describing the attack as horrific. Washington also endorsed President Bola Tinubu's security response, including the deployment of troops and intensified operations in the affected communities. Today, I'm delighted to be joined by a virtual guest. We have Ayoyinka Oni. He is a former coordinator, Take It Back Movement, Lagos. He is also a human rights activist and a public affairs analyst. Glad to have you join us, Ayoyinka.
Thank you so much for having me. Good evening, and I greet all the viewers.
Yeah, good evening. Okay, let's start off with this. Of course, I'm sure you heard the background to what I read, the story I read. And Trump is saying that the strikes that happened on Christmas Day was a partnership with Nigeria and, of course, the the United States. And if you can remember, when the strike happened, Nigeria, the federal government did not announce this first. The announcement, what we heard first, or who we heard it from first, was the United States. And there was a back and forth. People were asking, why is our own federal government not coming out to say anything? And then eventually, the federal government came out to say that it was actually collaboration. And now we've heard from the horse's mouth, that is Trump, that this was actually a collaboration. What do you make of this?
Well, what Nigerians can clearly see that have played out is the fact that the lobby that Nigeria paid heavily for, I can't remember the specific amounts now, but the figure was everywhere at that time, for favors and for a listening ear to the Nigerian government, the United States government, of course, has worked. And that is the taxpayers' money of Nigeria being used to lobby for United States government support or political support or political statement that will favor the Nigerian government. Because we all saw how it played out. After a strike was done and the people in the village started crying in those two states that were affected, it was Donald Trump that made the first tweet. And all the views that representative of Nigerians did, that's the spokesman of Tinubu, Daniel, and different storyline, and they couldn't even give more information. So, of course, the ambassador was just getting updates from his counterpart in the US, and that's basically what they were giving back. It was definitely not a coordinated attack between Nigeria and America. But, like I said, the lobbying has worked, and Trump towards the Nigerian government, and basically that's why he's saying all what he's saying. But we know that the US don't accept you or don't cooperate with you just for the sake of cooperation. There's a mutual benefit that both of them have gotten an understanding is. That's it unfold. But for me, it's a shame that a sovereign government have to depend on the United government statement before they can say, yes, we are doing what is right. It's a shame on the government.
Okay, so you're actually trying to say that you don't believe whatever it is that that Trump is saying. Is that what you're trying to say, that you feel like this is just trying to help Nigeria save face?
Donald Trump is an international tyrant. I don't think anybody needs to need any announcement of that. We know what he's doing in Iran, in Pakistan, in Venezuela recently. This is someone that comes to the media and say, want to get their oil. They need to give us their oil. He wants to take over Greenland. So Trump is not an example for a good leader or anything. But of course, it's an example for the likes of Bola Ahmed Tinubu and his government. Every Nigerian government over the years won the support of US, even to get into power, either for the first time and the second time. We remember Buhari's time and Obama and all that. So Trump is basically just saying this statement, like I said, just because whatever Nigerian government lobbied for with about 750 million, if my figures are correct, has worked. and they have currently have a mutual agreement, you know, and Nigeria is just a tool to use to the world to claim that Donald Trump is a Christian. He's not a Christian. He doesn't care about any Christian. He's just playing international politics to favor US. As we all know, we have troops from the United States of America already on the ground in Nigeria collaborating with our military. We don't know how far the collaboration will go. But of course, this is just a lie. From the history of what happened, from the records we know, that the United States of America already fired a missile even before our government in Nigeria and knew. The tweets are there on True Socials, rather. So the evidence are there.
Okay, you know, you mentioned that the U.S. Army already on ground to, of course, we know they're already in Nigeria. And I don't know what you make about this. The DHQ has come out to say that it's collaboration, intelligence sharing, and all of that. What do you make of this this coming? Some persons would actually applaud it, that yes, there's a need for these troops. We don't even know the number that they are, but that some persons will applaud the fact that they are here. But I don't want to hear your own take. What do you make of this? Do you think it's actually a step in the right direction in tackling insecurity as we have it?
There's no problem in countries of the world that want peace collaborating to end insecurity. I see, and I've said it before, that the United States of America is actually the wrong country to have that collaboration. Not because the United States of America lack intelligence or they lack the firepower or the mechanisms to end insecurity, but because the United States of America handles every insecurity issues in the world with politics. And because of that, they have a game that they are playing. They have where they are going. There's a means to every hand that they are doing. They are not interested in any terrorism. I've said it before that the United States of America have never handed or stopped any terror group in the world. They come for a purpose. So they are basically the wrong people to collaborate with. The question to ask is this. This is Africa. Nigeria is situated in West Africa. The ISIS and the ISWAP walk around the eastern part of Africa. Libya, Cote d'Ivoire, Niger, and the rest. Is there collaboration between the Nigerian military and these bordering countries to hand these people? That, oh, we are in Nigeria, we are pushing them to your place. We expect you to be ready for them as they are coming towards your plane. Have there been any collaboration? If there have been, what has been the achievement? What has been done? What has it done? Or where does it? Do they need to work to get better? We don't know anything about that. There's no statistics about that. But of course, the United States of America, who have been here before, obviously, during Jonathan's time, and they were not allowed to solve the problem according to the machineries that were interviewed by BBC and the rest. Sent them back and allowed them to leave. And we're expecting a fantastic result. The insecurity issue in Nigeria is not just about weapons. It's economical, it's structural, and of course, is international terrorism also involved. But what have we done about our local terrorists? What have we done about the economic issue? What have we done about our structural problem that is causing this influx of insecurity in our country? Of course, we have not done anything. We're still talking about it. This is my analysis on the presence, physical presence of the United States military in the US. The international terrorists will also equip their boys and their men around our borders with more forces, because the United States of America is like an erection, allow me to use that word, through every terrorism. Any terrorist group that sees United States of America in their domain feels that they are actually working to get US attention, feels that their agenda will get more international recognition, so they will put more fire. And we are not finished saying this. Just this week, me and you have read the news about over 100 people that have died in Kwara State. In Kwara State. And there's another one in Benue. That one did not make the news so much because the one in Kwara is more bloody. This is what the presence of US does. But of course, while Ahmed Tinubu have signed a deal with the US that we don't know, and part of the fulfillment of this deal is the presence of the US forces. So I'm not going to clap for this because they have not done the one at home first before getting international presence. And if at all you need international presence or international ideas and intelligence, there are other countries that have good military forces, good intelligence, and are in no way involved in international politics that can help you solve this problem. But no, we have went for the biggest gun, which is the US. The US attracts more calamity.
Okay, if I hear you correctly, you're actually saying that the U.S. being involved in whatever, in the insecurity, or trying to help us fight insecurity in Nigeria has done us more harm than good. That is what you're trying to say, or would do more harm than good. I want to be sure that that's what you're saying. And as you respond to that, while you were speaking, you said that the United States has a purpose other than what they make Nigerians feel, which is to help Christians fight, or rather to help ensure that Christians are not being killed as they are being killed. So if you say that there is a different purpose from what is being claimed, what purpose would you say that yes, the United States has, aside from what has been put out there?
Know that Nigerians, we are facing a lot in terms of economic and insecurity issues, and we need a Messiah at this time, which no Messiah anywhere. But Nigerians need to understand a reality. And what's the reality? Donald Trump doesn't care about any Christian anywhere in the world. Christian. He doesn't care. They sent forces to Venezuela. Venezuela is 80% of Christian people. People died in Venezuela, over 70 people, including a old woman. They are Christians. So if anybody is saying, oh, Donald Trump has sent his forces because he wants Christians to stop dying, it's just a joke. This is the trajectory and the history of the United States of America. The United States of America will never get involved in the security situation of any country if they don't have an ulterior motive. We can play around what it may be, but I cannot specifically say what it is. This is one of the issues. Trump wants to continue to have the Christian support all over the world in his international politics. And Nigeria is the most populous black nation in the world. It is a press to the whole world. He has been pushing that idea. He has pushing that narrative. Christians are dying. I'm going there. I'm going to help them. I sent a missile to them, Christmas gift and all that, even though we are still yet don't have a figure of whoever that missile killed and all that. That's one. Two, know that we are in a border with Niger. And people that understand, we understand that when there was a coup in Niger, the people that took over sent the United States forces out of that place. One of the biggest military bases in Africa was built in Niger. For me, I personally feel the US is taking and doing recon to recover back that place. And the best way that they can recover it is, of course, stage another coup in Niger or set the place, burning. 2 weeks ago, there was a bomb attack in Niger that happened twice. Or set the place burning so that they can come in and recover and take over that place. So what is clear, and where is the border to Niger? Of course, in the north. In the north, in the areas that are attacked by Boko Haram. So what is clear is that the US have an ulterior motive. If in the process they also find a way to help you to kill some of Boko Haram members and all that, but we will be joking with ourselves, we will be deceiving ourselves, we will think the presence of United States of America forces is going to end security in Nigeria. The United States of America, I repeat again, have never ended terrorism in any country. Nigeria will not be the first.
Well, some persons will actually argue the statement he just made, because really some persons are actually very happy that the US is coming in. But let's kind of, own into what happened in Kwara State. And after the mass killings of almost 170 persons, the president has actually called or deployed soldiers to Kwara State. And the US has come out to endorse this very quick response of our president. What do you make of this? What does this endorsement of the security response by our president, what does it connote? What do you think it connotes?
I think any Nigeria should be clapping for security redeployment after 170 people died. It has happened over and over again. Right from Buhari's regime, redeployment, I condole with you. We are going to attack the head about that. But we should analyze. When few people died in Benue, Trump was shouting. He was hungry. I'm coming there. All of a sudden, he's congratulating and saying, yes, it's a good one that Tinubu has deployed to confirm to you that the lobby that millions were paid for has worked. But to state clearly that presently, as we speak, one person, one elderly woman has been kidnapped in the US. If you watch CNN, BBC, and every major news line, there is hourly updates on the process and all the security forces to secure the safety of that woman. One woman. The mayor is talking about it. The police is talking about it. All other agencies are collaborating. The presidency is talking about it. The governor is talking about it. And you will see they'll be giving you updates. We have done this, we are doing this. One woman. Imagine if 200 people is killed by terrorists in the United States of America this night. Trump will not sleep. Because in the United States of America, they have in the United States of America, even though their president has a problem, there are some people in the government also that you see that they have a problem. They have a system that the people are saying it must work. In Nigeria, we don't have a system. One set of people just die. Till date, me and you, we are still saying 1 set of people. We cannot mention the name of one of them. The only news that we have is because of you media have been doing your best to go and cover the aftermath of that incident. I've seen about 3 media that have released footages. And even some international media. No serious report from a government. We don't have a system. What we are saying is a governor of a whole state going to sit in front of the president and narrating how people died. He's telling the president news line, story time. And the president is holding his cheek on the life of 170 people. We don't have a system that protects. We don't have a system that works. We don't even have an emergency response system. They are doing mass burial for them this evening. We are in a sorry and a pathetic society and a government that don't know what they are doing. And you know, when we human rights and all that start giving the government ideas, sometimes we just feel it's a waste of time because they will never do it. They will not listen because the life of one Nigeria is not important to them. I tell you and I repeat it, that if this issue did not get to the news, the government will cover it and they will move on. Because before this attack, there were intelligence by the people that these people have warned us. So they say we should take Sharia. We say we are not accepting. Come to Hawaii. They did not move an inch until 100 people were killed. But in a normal society, this will not happen. Let's now say, unfortunately, it happens. The government will quickly move into action, not just redeploying forces, getting data of all the people that died, confirming for their family that they need to even release their faces so that we know them, immediately going after the miscreant that did this to show other terrorist group that this cannot be accepted in our society. But that will not be done. The army will go there, they will drive around. Do you know why they are there? Let me even tell you. They are there because they don't want people to come out and protest. Yes, you can die, but please, carefully, cry quietly. Not only that, they just return them back. Why some of others in that state almost every week? This is the fact that our security architect, it is gone. But your president can sack the entirety of army staff because there's a sound of coup. But the life of Nigerians is not that important. It is a joke of a country, and Nigerians need to wake up and do something about it.
Okay, you talked about security architecture being very, very down, and let me bring you to, of course, what we've talked about earlier. But let me ask a question. That's the Army, the U.S. Army on ground in Nigeria. One of the things the HQ had said, aside from collaboration, they mentioned intelligence sharing. But I want to ask you, we've heard so many persons say that our security, there's been internal saboteur in our security outfits or security architecture. And we know that some persons have actually said that internal coordination has remained weak. So how would intelligence sharing, how would it be enough when we have all of these issues? How can these be managed with all of the issues that we have as a nation in our security? And then now they're coming with intelligence sharing. Do you think it will actually change or make any difference?
I love this question, and the reason is this. And you said it all. When your own security architects are doing misinformation, disinformation, you have situations where information from the military is getting to terrorists already. How can you then share information with an higher security forces when you have not put your house in order? Look at the people that say they did coup against Bola Tinubu's government. They released their names because Tinubu staying in power is more important than him than any other thing. The people that have been giving information to terrorists, the people that have been sabotaging our information network, the people that have been affecting coordination, have you ever had their name? Has their name been published? The people that have been selling weapons to terrorists, have their name been published? There is no real plan to solve the problem of the insecurity in Nigeria. There's no real plan to put the security forces in order. And how do you do that? Corruption cannot exist within the rank and file of Nigerian security forces. It cannot exist. If you have an IGP that you are seeing that is snapping pictures with people that are international criminals, that of course the police cannot catch, somebody has to come from a retired FBI has to come to help us to catch him, not helping us because he actually defrauded someone abroad. When you are seeing your military men having pictures with smugglers, no smugglers, higher authority military men, how do you expect those people to come out and do security work properly? The entire security process is compromised. And the president himself, who the IGP told you that if not for the president, he will not be here today, it's like a father to him, is also compromised to the IG. How can he do the right thing? Because when we are talking about security, we are very quick to talk about the army. But I can tell you quickly, the majority of the problem we are facing starts from the position of the police. The soldiers should be at our borders. The soldiers should be at towns that have high kidnapping and terrorism rates, protecting it. It is the police that is for crime prevention. How many crimes are they preventing? Are they even properly equipped? We all see police in our community. We all meet them on the highway. Do many of those police force look like people that are serious about identity security? Some people have traveled in this country. They see how the FBI works. They see how the state police work. They see how the SWAT and all those forces work. RIPD and the rest. There is so much level of seriousness. We are not a serious country. So if we have not solved our internal problem, they want to collaborate with the US. They are just going to frustrate those people. But those people also, like I said, they are here for two issues. One is to find a way to just manage Nigeria's problem. The second one is their major issue where they came for. And like I said, as the period continues to go, we will be seeing those things. It will be coming forth. And like I said again, if by now Nigeria has not collaborated with all our neighboring countries that are also facing the issue of insecurity, then we are still joking, because some of the influx of these terrorists come from the border, from Niger, Cote d'Ivoire, Libya. We are not collaborating, but we are quick to collaborate with the US and all that, just for political reasons, just because they want to keep power. Nigerians need to wake up, because I can tell you the terrorists are not in any way threatened by the presence of the US. They are not. The terrorists in this country will be threatened when they see that there's a high political will from the executive and from the police and from the army, the navy, to end them. You will know that they are threatened. Presently now, they are not threatened because they see that all these are still political games. We are still playing political games with insecurity in this country, and Nigeria should not expect any beautiful result.
Okay, let's move on to the next conversation. Of course, still talking insecurity or security matters. Kaduna State Governor Uba Sani has officially received 183 worshippers rescued by security forces after being abducted by armed groups. Receiving the worshippers, the governor described the occasion as a day of joy for the state. He said the safe return of all the abducted worshippers vindicated the quiet but relentless efforts of the state government and security agencies. The governor assured residents that the government remains committed to dismantling criminal networks and ensuring the security and safety of every citizen. You know, Ayoyinka, almost 3 weeks after the abduction of these church members, we see the rescue of the abducted members, and nothing is being said about how they were rescued and all. You know, what do you make of this? You know, their rescue or their release is being celebrated, but everything is shrouded in secrecy, sort of. Nobody's saying anything. The state government isn't saying anything. The federal government is not saying anything. And we have seen that. Of course, let me ask you, what do you make of it? Let me not put words into your mouth.
We have a budget for ransom now, both federal and state. I don't think this is a news. Nigerians know. There's a budget for ransom. The government has to separate it. In fact, there are some communities where they pay the ransom ahead, even before they are kidnapped. Please, our terrorist friends, take this money. Don't kidnap us yet. So, you know, when the government is celebrating and putting it in the news like that, you will know that there are a lot of mishap in all this. But of course, you see, military will come with them, they put them in a vehicle, and all. But ransom has been paid, of course. And the question in the lip of every Nigeria is that how long will we continue to pay ransom to terrorists for the funds that were used to develop society? The people that you are even paying ransom for, they cannot boast of such money. That's ransom from government. People within themselves also are gathering money to pay ransom. Some people still die in the process. For me, I don't think a responsible governor will be celebrating anything. If you get 108 of your residents released, one way or the other, you should be in a sober mood and telling the people you are sorry for them experiencing this, and promise it doesn't happen again. All the things you are going to do to make it so it don't happen again, and go and work your ass to make sure the people are safe. In Kaduna State, it's either they are kidnapping tomorrow or they are killing the next day. It is one story week after week. So this is not a time for any governor to be trying to use it for political. You can see that the government is serious. 108 people were kidnapped, for God's sake. 108 people just picked up like chickens in the community because there's no security. We don't have security anywhere in our state. The half of the police force are protecting VVIP. There was a news 2 weeks ago that the police told the people protecting VVIP to be on standby and on alerts. I don't know whatever information that they had. And the remaining half are collecting bribe, extorting and all that. You know, so all these things are not in place, and you want to be rejoicing that 100 people were released, which most likely ransom was paid. You know, we need these leaders to wake up, because 36 states in our nation presently has been surrounded by terrorism. Kwara already. You know, in Southwest think that they are one special people. Now we are special. Where even if the security is in Northeast, Northwest, and North Central, we can run to South. Abuja thought they were special. Now terrorists are showing them shaking with kidnapping and the rest. In Southwest think they are special. They are just joking. Oyo State governor the other day said it by himself that Oyo is already surrounded by terrorists. Ogun State have experienced terrorist attack. Ekiti has experienced terrible one. It was even Ekiti that trended. Ondo has experienced. Ogun has experienced. Kwara has experienced. So if we Southwest think they are safe and we don't speak out until we are all, overwhelmed by this issue, we are just joking. And we have nothing to do than to call out this government. The people of Kwara should not be sleeping. The other day, women were protesting in Kwara in government house, and they beat them away from there. I'm sorry to say this. Some of the people that beat them, probably their family might be photos of those that were killed the other day. Until we see the news, before we see this thing. Today's survivor, tomorrow's victim. Today's government supporter, tomorrow's victim. Everybody's just waiting for his turn. We are not seeing anything important in what the government have done about security. But if Nigerians still want to be clapping for U.S. presence, well, we are going to watch and we wish them success. But I say, security is local and international. The local aspect has not been solved. We have gone for international. The international cannot solve your local government. It's impossible.
You talked about ransom, but in the federal government would actually come out to tell you that they don't pay ransom. And they've said it's oftentimes that they don't pay ransom, that they don't give money to these bandits or terrorists in exchange for our citizens or Nigerian citizens. But of course, you are saying that you feel ransom can be paid, and many Nigerians also feel that way. But let's move away from security and let's move to a matter that I'm sure you would be very happy to talk about. The former Minister of Education, EZEKWESILI, says Nigerians are demanding real-time electronic upload of election results, cautioning lawmakers against action that could undermine public trust in the electoral process. Civil society organizations have also intensified pressure on the National Assembly, with over 70 CSOs insisting that real-time electronic transmission of votes must be guaranteed ahead of 2027. The groups argue that electronic transmission reduces manipulation and enhances the credibility of election outcomes. Meanwhile, Senator Victor Ume says over 85% of senators supported electronic transmission of results during deliberations on the Electoral Act amendment. There's been a back and forth on this electoral amendment. We get to hear some of the senators say there was electronic transmission was passed. Some said no, it was changed to electronic transfer. Some said that it was done to the discretion of INEC. What do you make of this entire back and forth? And we've seen the CSO, we've seen someone like EZEKWESILI come out to say we want real-time transmission of electronic results. What do you make of all of this back and forth that we're having come up in our country at the moment?
Done is the fact that they have left a loophole in that electoral act to allow the INEC chairman or whoever is in charge to still be able to present results regardless if the real-time electronic transfer was done at real time, As we saw in the last election, even when the transmitted on the beavers, on the rev rather, the INEC chairman still at midnight announced the winner of the election using Excel sheets, And that loophole is intentional, stating that they can do real time, and if it's not possible, also they can send the figure to the national through the state, and it's intentional. And why is it intentional? It's intentional because me and you know the majority of people in that Senate basically rig the election to get to power. Of course, they won't go to the polling unit themselves to buy votes. They have boys that do it. Of course, they won't send people to go and snatch ballot box for themselves. But they will not go and snatch ballot for themselves. But they have boys that do it. They won't be the one that will be sharing money. Of course, they have people that do it. So they want to make sure there are loopholes for everything that they need to do to get into power. But I say this, and I want to say this clearly, that the problem of Nigeria election is not just about the real time or no real time. The problem of Nigeria election is the fact that The president of the country chooses the INEC chairman. And whether directly or indirectly, you are going to listen to your employee. So therefore, you will listen to the president. This man has already conducted one or two elections since he became chairman. Was it in any way different from the elections that we have been having? Was it not vote buying everywhere in EZEKWESILI state now? I can't remember now. Or Anambra, it was vote buying everywhere. Nothing special, no difference, So basically, we still don't have a serious INEC that fear the people enough to conduct election free and fair. Let me tell you something. Even if we don't have electronic transmission and everything is manual, and we have an INEC that is not corrupt, an INEC that are well paid, that will not collect bribe from politicians, and they are saying we're going to do our job, we don't want to know anybody, and they count the thing manually, of course, we will have free and fair election. We will. In a case where they are counting manually, and let's say the ruling party is not winning somewhere and someone came to snatch the ballot box, they will follow the law to make sure that there's a rerun in that place or sanction whoever did the ballot box. Everything is inside their law. But this is not done. So when we don't have an INEC that's for the people, and we still don't have a Senate that wants everything to be transparent, of course, we're not going to get anything special. I was listening to the issue of US election today. The people in charge of election are not the federal. All the states are in charge of the election, and they are independent body. The federal is trying to be in charge, but the state are saying, no, we have to make sure that everything is accordingly. So Nigeria's problem is not only the transmission, also we don't have an INEC that stands for the people. So
Okay. So what you're saying, if I can hear you well, you said what we need at the moment actually is for us to look more into how the INEC chairman comes into play, as in like how we get our INEC chairman, that position. And this is where we'll have to wrap it up. You've really done a very fantastic job on your analysis tonight. Thank you very much for being a part of the show, Ayoyinka. That's all we have for today's episode of The Issues. We explore the challenges facing Nigeria and, of course, its electoral governance. Thank you for being a part of it. Don't forget to tune in next time for more in-depth analysis and discussion. Follow us on social media to stay up to date on the latest news and insight. Until next time, stay informed. Remember that the views and opinions expressed by our analysts are solely their own and do not reflect that of VOP Media. I am Nenna Ndamdioto. This has been The Issues and Voice of the People Television, where the future faces forward. Please don't forget to stay tuned for Hashtag with Vivian by 8 p.m. Don't go away.
I'm Sarah Nystrom from Sweden, aka Chief Omobawale, Communication Queen. Keep watching VOP TV.
Hi, I'm Samantha Jacobs, representing the States. Miami's in the house, and I want to make a shout out to VOP TV. I'm a humanitarian, and I'm also a rep in the film industry and the art industry. I help dreams come true, and I help you keep on that path. Shout out to VOP TV because you're helping people stay on their path too. Cheers.
All right, my name is John Odibo. Keep watching Voice of the People because it's a fantastic station to be with all the time. Thank you very much.
My name is Pastor Elvis Ciro, the convener of the Voice Achievers Award, and keep watching VOP. Yes, that is the channel for all the people. No color, no race. Thank you so much.
Yo, ladies and gentlemen, this is Abasunkan from the Netherlands. I am a designer and I'm here in Eco Hotel and Suits. Keep watching VOP, the voice of the people. Don't touch that dial.
Africa is on the move, a continent of rising voices,
untold stories and powerful transformations. From the streets of Lagos to the heart of Nairobi, from the mines of Congo to the tech labs of Cape Town, the African story is being written every day. Bold, dynamic, unstoppable. This is African News on Voice of the People Television. We don't just bring you the news. We analyze and bring you Africa's heartbeat, the politics that shapes our nations, the economies that drives our future, the cultures that defines who we are, the voice that must be heard. Africa News, Africa's voice, Africa's future. Where Africa speaks, the world listens.
In a world where power shifts with every headline.
In a nation full of questions.
In a world filled with noise, the truth needs a voice.
The policies that shapes our world and the economy that determines our future.
Every hour, every day, the grapevine keeps buzzing. And together, we are committed to telling the stories that shape our world because your voice is our focus.
Don't forget, our voice matters the most. Let us come together and share our concerns.
In a world where power shifts with every headlines, news breaks and events happens, we bring you unbiased and explicit information on politics, economy and state of the nation. We break down the chaos. Facts, not fluff.
Tackling tough topics and amplifying your voice. Join the conversation and make your voice count. The people's voice. Make your voice count. The red carpets, awards, the razzmatazz, music, fashion, interviews, and more. Spotlight on Voice of the People Television. Let's feed you with all the juicy stories in the global entertainment space, bringing you the glitz and glamour as they hot. Stay tuned to Spotlight, 1 p.m. Monday to Friday. Spotlight on VOP TV. Entertainment like never before. To know the happenings in the maritime sector, join us on the program Maritime Frontiers on VOP TV as we discuss key areas in the maritime sector from aquaculture, maritime transportation, maritime labor regulation, oil and gas exploration, ferry and passenger insurance, marine pollution and prevention, port operations and lots more. Maritime Frontiers, exploring Nigeria's blue economy.
Hello there, my name is Damilola Ogunsi, also known as the Goldfish.
Hi, my name is Chike Bright Emmanuel. I'm an actor and a filmmaker.
Hello peeps, my name is Yomi E. Adejumo.
Hi everyone, I'm Paul Utomi. Hi
everyone, my name is Stacey Benjamin and this is Voice of the People TV.
I need you to keep it locked to VOP TV. See, I'm looking for good entertainment. You want to get good movies, good music, politics, talk shows, sports and entertainment. You really want a channel that gives you everything you need without you having to run around. VOP is where you are. That's Voice of the People.
If you're not listening to this, you're not one of us. And you deserve to be killed. Scrap chat. Don't be killed, but watch it. Or I'll find you. And I want you.
And you are locked on VOP TV. Don't go nowhere. This is where the juice is. This is where all you need for entertainment, politics, movies, and whatnot.
And keep watching VOP TV.
So keep it locked because I'm locked already, man. And it's money back guarantee. So you're going to have a good time because I do.
And please keep watching VOP TV.
I won't want to actually, I beg you, subscribe, watch it. If not, whatever you see.
You better not touch that die because VOP is the plot.
Welcome to the locker room, the home of football talk that matters. I am Jerry Aviation. Join us every weekday, Monday to Friday at 5 p.m. Nigerian time, as we share the hot takes and hot debates in the exciting world of football. And joining me are the usual suspects, Ikechukwu and Mayowa, as we break down all the hot takes and everything that's happening in the football. Don't just watch football, Leave it with us. Catch us on the Locker Room and Voice of the People television at 5 p.m. Nigerian time. And like I always say, if not 20 minutes off, with the sport.
And it's Hakim Ziyech who puts the
This is Health Check, your weekly guide to better living, smarter choices, and trusted answers. From everyday wellness to urgent health issues, we've got you covered. Health Check, only on Voice of the People television, where your health has a voice.
Behind every broken desk lies a broken promise. Education shapes the nations. But who is asking the right questions? Introducing Edu Dialogue, the show
Welcome, guys. The show is Hashtags right here on VOP TV. My name is Vivian Uguche, and it's a pleasure to have you join us. So this is where we get to tell you all things trending and all things topical. And today we have lots of stories on the front burner. Chief among them is the charter online about electoral reforms. Now, a number of opposition lawmakers, including Senator Tambuwal, Senator Abaribe, Senator Natasha Akpoti-Aduana, and of course, Senator Ireti Kingibe, have come out to say that they are not party to what was passed by the Senate, that they actually vehemently reject what the Senate has passed, especially rejecting the transmission of results, electronic transmission of results. Now, that is gaining traction like mad online. Also, something that just dropped, it is fresh, but it is really, it has got tongues wagging online, is the fact that investigative journalist David Hundeyi has said that NADECO is a CIA project and that Nigerians were lied to about the late military dictator Sani Abacha. But first, let's take a look at how it's panning out regarding the first hashtag, electoral reforms. Let's go online, shall we? Yeah. So Omotayo Williams, by the way, is a pro-democracy campaigner. He's also a human rights activist. He says, breaking, Nigerian senators have stated at a press conference that the electoral reform bill passed by the Senate president was not the version approved by the Senate. They say they are shocked, just as Nigerians are, by what was eventually passed. Recall the fraudulent tax reform bill that was earlier passed into law. I warned about the consequences of allowing such manipulations to stand. I think we have Nigerian Stories also seconding this post by Omotayo Williams. Nigerian Stories says, breaking news, Senators Abaribe, Aminu Tambuwal, Natasha Akpoti Oduaga and other opposition lawmakers say the electoral reform bill that was signed was not the version approved by the Senate, insisting that the electronic transmission of results must be retained. Now, Nigeria Stories picked this story, the video from Chooks. So let's head over to Chooks' page now and see what he's got for us. Let's go to Chooks' page. So Chooks says Senators Abaribe, Tambuwal, Natasha Akpoti, and other opposition lawmakers insist on retaining electronic transmission of results in the electoral bill. Now, he put up this video. Credit goes to News Century for this video. Take a listen, guys.
We felt, those of us who are still around, that it would be necessary to make a clarification of what happened yesterday, to put the records straight. Yesterday, the Senate did not, I repeat, did not pass transfer of results, which was in the 2022 Act. What we passed, and which the Senate President himself, when he was doing a clarification sitting on his chair, is transmission of results. And I need to make this very clear. Every one of us who is a senator, who has the privilege to represent a senatorial district, came here under the trust of their senatorial zone. And the reason for us to go into a closed session was so that we can tidy up all the niggling things inside there. And when we now come back to plenary to pass it, that we will pass it without any rancor. I can assure you, on my honor and the honor of all of us who are standing here, that both the Electoral Committee of the Senate, then the Ad hoc Committee of the Senate, and also in the executive session that we had, that we all agreed on section 63, which is electronic transmission of votes, or electronic transmission of results. Transmit, not transfer. What is in 2022 is transfer, and we don't want a law that is vague. We don't want a law that will be misinterpreted by anybody. We want a law that is clear, concise, and can be interpreted by all, and that is unambiguous. So it is electronic transmission of results. Yes, thank you. I think we can end it here because we've done what.
All right, there you go. I wanted it to sink in a little bit. Do you catch every single thing Senator Abaribe said? Contrary to what the Senate President has said, that it wasn't as if they totally rejected electronic transmission of results, but that they just retained what was in the 2022 bill and all of that. But Senator Abaribe said, no, that is not what's happening here, and that they are shocked as Nigerians. So netizens, Nigerians are responding to this particular hashtag. Let's take a look at what they're saying. It is hashtag electoral reform. Reactions now. So this is Benedict of 4 PhD says, why is it hard for the Senate leadership to put electronic transmission into law? We need to move forward in this country. Many countries have left us behind. Everything shouldn't be cheating. Let's do a free and fair election. For once, This will make our leaders to perform well, knowing that the chance of winning depends on performance, not robbery or rigging. Naughty Obedience says, where were they when the bill was being passed? Why can't they oppose immediately? And then Everything Politics says 31 voices versus 78 votes. This is why insisting in the Senate often means nothing. You can argue, shout, quote the law, but when the numbers are fixed, the outcome is already decided. What we have is not legislative debate, but legislative dominance. More reactions? So this is Ron Cole, who says, why will the Senate even oppose the live transmission of election results via BVAS? And then this is Ashiwaju Mourinho Fidelix, says, the Senate gives them a live transmission of the results. It is not like it will change anything. They know they are just looking for excuses ahead. Then Buchi says, Nigerians, it is time to stand up and protest. Even if the remaining opposition stays quiet, we the citizens can take action. All we need is our voices. If they mess with us, they will face the consequences. So it looks like this particular story is gaining momentum online and emotions are being aroused as we speak. But as this one unfolds, we will keep you posted. But what this means in a nutshell is that 2027 is gearing up to be a most interesting election year. I mean, it's not so far away from here. This is already February 2026. So we're keeping our fingers crossed to see how that one pans out. So, our next hashtag, Abacha. I gave you a little sneak peek at the beginning, but here is the full gist. Our investigative journalist, award-winning journalist, David Hunde, has done it again. Like I said, he said, NADECO, and in a short while, I'm going to be showing you what NADECO is all about. It's a pro-democracy group. And President Tinubu actually is one of the founding members. Now, David Hunde has come out to say that NADECO is a CIA project. He also said that most of the things Nigerians were told about the late Sani Abacha, military dictator, are all lies. So I'd like for us to have some basis, like foundation, before we take a look at the particular hashtag. So let's take a look at Sani Abacha. After that, we'll take a look at NADECO. And then we'll go to the hashtag proper. So Sani Abacha, GCFR, was a Nigerian military dictator and statesman who ruled Nigeria as military head of state from 1993, following a palace coup d'etat until his death in 1998. Guys, Abacha's, just keep this on the screen. Abacha's coup d'etat was the last successful coup in Nigeria till date. Now, the one that almost happened in 2025 was botched. So this was the last successful one. I just wanted to let you guys know. Now, let's take a look at the next page. Who did he take power from? It was the interim government of Chief Ernest Shonekan. So General Sani Abacha took over the government from Chief Ernest Shonekan for forcing his resignation in a bloodless coup on November 17, 1993, and establishing himself as Nigeria's head of state amidst political instability following annulled elections. Key details. Who was overthrown? Chief Ernest Shonekan, who led the interim national government established by the previous military leader, General Babangida, a.k.a. Maradona. Well, how it happened? Abacha, then defense minister, orchestrated a military coup, portraying it as a move to stabilize the country amid the crisis from the June 12, 1993 presidential election. Guys, you remember the June 12, 1993 election? It was the one that was named the freest and fairest ever in Nigeria's electoral history, and it was won by the late Abiola, who died in prison. Now, let's take a look at what NADECO is all about. It's the next post you're going to see now. So what is NADECO? The National Democratic Coalition, NADECO, was a prominent Nigerian pro-democracy group formed on the 15th of May 1994 to oppose military rule under Sani Abacha. Composed of politicians, activists, and retired officers, its primary aim was to demand the validation of the June 12, 1993 presidential election, widely believed to have been won by Chief MKO Abiola. Key aspects of NADECO include formation and goals, established to end military dictatorship. Let me take that again. Formation and goals of NADECO was established to end military dictatorship, restore democracy, and advocate for federalism. Key figures founded by figures such as Chief Anthony Enahoro, Chief Michael Adekunle Ajasi, Chief Abraham Adesonya, Chief Ayo Adebanjo. You remember Chief Ayo, who passed away in 2095, and Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Nigeria's sitting president. The resistance, it acted as a major force of civil resistance, often facing persecution, detention, and exile by the Abacha regime. Then activist Bola Ahmed Tinubu, now president, actually was on exile, at the height of it all. Went on exile at the height of it all. Now, legacy, it played a pivotal role in the transition to civilian rule in 1999, effectively achieving its main goal of ending military governance. But like we said earlier on, David Hundeyi is claiming otherwise regarding the legacy of NADECO, saying it was just a CIA tool. Now, let's do the hashtag proper. This is just laying foundation for what you're about to see. So let's go to the first post on X, hashtag Abacha. This is Business Elites Africa. And it says, I've had to admit to myself that almost everything I thought I knew about Sani Abacha came from poisoned sources. NADECO itself was a CIA project. David Hundeyi. Nigeria Stories has it as well. Let's take a look at the next one. So Nigeria Stories, again, is sort of echoing what Business Elite said. I've had to admit to myself that almost everything I thought I knew about Sani Abacha came from poisoned sources. NADECO itself was a CIA project. This is David Hundeyi. And then Nigeria Stories picked this up from One Jobless Boy. So we'll take a look at One Jobless Boy's page now and how netizens are reacting to this particular story. Let's take a look at it. So this is One Jobless Boy, basically saying what the other posts are saying. But it's an interview, and if you take a listen to it, David Hundeyi is saying that Abacha actually was one of the best presidents, wasn't one of the worst presidents Nigeria had, that he actually saved monies for Nigeria. What is popularly known as the Abacha loot now, David is saying, was saved for the purpose of the country's welfare, Nigeria's welfare, because of global limitations then that weren't allowing monies to be kept for Nigeria. That's according to him. And then he named some other presidents as the worst, and they were worst off from Abacha, worse off than Abacha. He also said NADECO itself was a CIA project. So netizens are responding now. Let's take a look at the thread. It is hashtag Abacha. Like I said, this is just dropping. Dr. A. Turumbe says, those who did not live history tend to minimize history. This narrative of Nigerian history is false. I was a university student under Abacha. I had friends disappeared from OAU and never heard from again by Abacha's strike force. There were sanctions, but targeted. Fuel scarcity and kerosene scarcity was a regular thing. We were reduced to using Abacha stoves. We protested and were shot at and killed. We came out the next day to protest. Anyway, continue to whitewash history. One day, Tinubu's family would say Nigerians didn't know accounting. That's why he was collecting taxes with his personal company. Well, I'm trying to wrap my head around that one, but this is coming from Dr. A. Turumbe. Let's take a look at the next page. So, Ashana Wale says, where did Generals Babangida and Ernest Shonekan save Nigeria's money then? Am I missing something? Well, these are questions that are coming up after this particular post. Victor says, if David Hundeyi believes that money was kept in private accounts because Nigeria was locked out of the global financial system, then Chaguri has no case to answer, since the money he allegedly helped Abacha steal was kept in trust and returned to Nigeria under OBJ. The plot is getting deeper. This is Unyama who says, I found out they lied against Abacha about 4 years ago. Now, more reactions. So this is Dr. Royal Laurel who says, few years from now, someone will tell Venezuelans that Maduro was a good man when they know what they went through during his reign. Please, you guys should leave us alone and focus on electoral reforms. 170 people were just killed. All these distractions are to what end? And then Enim says, I won't leave till you tell me the full story. Was he a good guy? Aha, $1 million question. More reactions? So this is Food Psych 24, who says convincing Nigerians that bread is a type of stone would be easier than convincing them that Nigeria in itself is a CIA project. That settles it, right? So it is for and against, but it looks like most netizens are not buying this gist. But David Hundeyin is not letting up. He's continuing to push this narrative. Is it a conspiracy theory, or is this the work of a true investigative journalist? We'll keep our fingers crossed to see how this one pans out. Next hashtag now is hashtag Kwankwaso. Rabiu Kwankwaso, heavyweight politician, came fourth in the last national election cycle, talking about the presidential election. It was President Tinubu, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, then Bola Ahmed Tinubu, now President Tinubu, and then it was Atiku Abubakar, Peter Obi, and then Kwankwaso. Kwankwaso also used to be an NNPP chieftain. He's no, I said used to be because the party has come out to say that he's been expelled. So it looks like he's partyless at the moment. Now, he was once upon a time a governor of Kano State, very popular, and then moved massively through a movement called the Kwankwasiya movement. Looks like that is still holding sway. Today, actually, he put up a post. He visited a market yesterday in Kano State. This market had been destroyed, millions, properties worth millions destroyed. The market was razed by fire on the 2nd of February. Kwankwaso decided to visit, and it was a huge crowd that decided to come out to welcome him. So netizens are saying it looks like this man is still holding some serious sway when it comes to politics in the north, and maybe Nigeria at large. Some are also saying, why don't you, join this momentum with that of Peter Obi to see if you can unseat the incumbent government, is what netizens are saying. I'm just paraphrasing or giving you a summary of what they said. So we'll take a look at the first post, and then we'll take a look at what netizens are saying. Hashtag Kwankwaso. Kwankwaso draws massive crowds in Kano amid political rift. On the 5th of February 2025, Kwankwaso visited Singa Market in Kano, devastated by a February 2 fire that destroyed 25 shops and 19 stores, worth hundreds of millions of naira. Supporters thronged his convoy, disrupting traffic before large gatherings at his residence reaffirmed loyalty to him and the Kwankwasiya movement. The events followed Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf's defection to the APC on January 26, sparking resignations and highlighting divided loyalties ahead of 2027 elections, with some reviewing the crowds as proof of Kwankwaso grassroots strength. Now, let's take a look at the post that Kwankwaso himself put up. So this is Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, and he said, "Thank you, people of Singa Market, Kano. May Allah reward and replace your loss with something much better. Amen. RMK." He put up this video. Take a look, guys. A mammoth crowd, if you ask me. I can tell you that. Now, he actually visited the market today, not yesterday. So, hey, forgive me. It was this happened today. I think at about 1, if you take a look at the time of the post, I think it's about 1 p.m. today now. It's huge, I can tell you. It's a rousing welcome. And according to Kwankwaso, this just didn't stop at the market. The crowd actually welcomed him at his home as well. So what's up with Kwankwaso? What's happening? Is he going to join a coalition? Is it going to be a one-man riot? Is he going to be an independent candidate? Is he going to go back to the PDP? Is he going to join the ADC? Or is he going to join the APC? Netizens are asking lots of questions. Let's take a look at the reactions now. People are responding to this post Kwankwaso put up. This is a Jebo hustler who says, Oga, do it with Peter Obi. If you lose, you keep the momentum for 2031. If you win, hold him to the balls with his 4 years promise. There, his integrity will be tested. Let me take that again. If you win, hold him regarding his 4 years promise. There, his integrity will be tested, which I believe he will set a new path for Nigeria. Okay, I think what Ajabo Hosla is talking about is Peter Obi's promise to do just 4 years, 1 term, and leave if given the privilege of becoming Nigeria's president. And then Ajabo Hosla goes on to say, obviously, you know APC won't give you the VP ticket. And then Everything Politics says, guess what many of the people caught in these political games are? The same out-of-school children we keep talking about now. The same out-of-school children we keep talking about. Now they are grown, voiceless, and easily used. Wow. So Everything Politics is saying those are out-of-school children. I think I saw a number of adults in that, don't you think? Well, he said they are grown now. Adamawa Lastborn says, APC winning Kano, even with the governor's defection, will be very difficult. I don't know what Kwankwaso used to hold these guys. More reactions? So this is Jibril. Jibril says, if this man merges with Jonathan, the election will be over by 12 noon. 30BG's girl says, this man is really loved by his people. This is pure love and not paid crowd. There must be something spectacular this man did while in office that earned him such followership and genuine love from the masses. RMK's style of leadership while in office should be studied by others. For the Nature says, them still they hear this guy Gbedu. That guy go become one-term governor. And then Ayomide says, Oga join coalition, nothing for you again in APC and divided PDP and NNPP. Well, that's it. That's the summation of it. Netizens are speaking regarding that one. You remember why he said that nothing for you in the APC? I mean, one of his godsons, talking about the governor, the incumbent governor of Kano State, just defected from the NNPP to the APC not too long ago, and he cited internal wrangling as the reason. Following that defection, Kwankwaso, I keep saying Kwankwaso, Kwankwaso has been crying foul. He said he was betrayed by Governor Kabiru, his godson. I don't know if he still refers to him as his godson. He kept saying he was betrayed, that wasn't the plan. But shortly afterwards, the NNPP came out to say, why are you even saying you were betrayed? It's not as if you're still in the party because the NNPP has expelled you. And then that last netizen you heard from also said, there is no place for you in the divided PDP. Divided because we don't even know which is which, even though we heard today that INEC has actually recognized the faction that Wike is sympathetic to. I'm talking about the PDP. So what's happening with the Turaki-led faction of the PDP? I mean, the governor of Oyo State, Seyi Makinde, is saying, look, it is no retreat, no surrender, forward ever, backward never. I mean, just yesterday, we saw them opening or beautifying a secretariat of the PDP in Oyo State. Even though Nyesom Wike has come out, I'm talking about the FCT minister, Nyesom Wike has come out to say that, look, give me the power to handle the PDP in Oyo State, I will diminish it and all. So it's a whole lot. Now, netizens are saying, is it the ADC you want to come join now? But Atiku Abubakar recently came out to say that Kwankwaso would romance with the opposition during the day and frolic with the president at night. So what is it going to be? What's going to be it for Kwankwaso is what I'm trying to wrap my head around. But let's keep our fingers crossed to see how it pans out. We move on now to the next one, which is #PDA. And this one involves Seyi Makinde. You know, I just talked about him. He is the governor of Oyo State, PDP chieftain. And he's the one that's been going head-to-head with the FCT minister, Nyesom Wike. Remember how not too long ago, Seyi Makinde had come out to say that he was in a room with Wike and President Tinubu, and Wike promised to hold down the PDP to pave the way for President Tinubu's re-election in 2027, even though Nyesom Wike, former governor of Rivers State and current FCT minister, came to say, look, hey, that's not right, that's not true, and all. Seyi Makinde has also been in the news because Oyo State has been marking 50 years, Oyo at 50, and it's been series of events, one event after the other. So one of these events, there was this moment that was caught by the camera and posted online. It's gained lots of traction. So Seyi Makinde's wife was going to give him a peck. She was following what the host, the compare, was saying. She was going to give him a peck, you know, when they had said so many great things about Seyi Makinde. And Seyi Makinde just dodged the kiss. And people caught that. It was caught on camera and posted online. And Nigerians announcing, gosh, maybe this marriage is in trouble. That PDA is not for everybody. PDA being public display of affection. That's not for everybody. That Seyi acted well because he's a governor. I mean, it's a whole lot. Let me not detract from it. I'm just going to take you to X now. So you see how this hashtag is panning out. Hashtag PDA. Yaba Left Online has this one. Says, moment Governor Seyi Makinde refused to kiss his wife at a public function. This happened at the dinner and award night organized to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the state held on Wednesday. That's just yesterday, February 4. And they put up this video. So credit goes to Yaba Left Online for this video. Take a listen, guys.
Move close to him and give him a peck and say, thank you, darling, for a job well done. Your Excellency, take it, you have tried. Take it. Oyo State is great and it will continue to be greater. Darling, one word for Oyo State.
Gosh, that is chilly. Oh my gosh. Did you notice how he tried now talking to her later on and she was giving him the silent treatment and the cold shoulder? Yeah, but hey, it is what couples do, right? But is this what couples do? Well, what are netizens saying? Let's take a look at the reactions. It is hashtag PDA. So Champagne Glass says, not everyone likes public display of affection, especially where there are kids around watching, and also considering how sensitive his position as the governor of a state is. Everyone is not like the dancing governor of Osun State. Kissing is an X-rated action. X-rated action? Well, according to Champagne, kissing is an X-rated action and should not be done anywhere or everywhere in public. The woman should have known better. I do know of countries, you know, in the Middle East where kissing is banned in public. But Zoe says, but that's not the case in Oyo. Zoe says people are over analyzing a 5-second clip. Seyi Makinde is a governor, not a Nollywood lead actor. At a state function with over 1,600 guests and 17 former governors, he's in official mode. Some men just don't believe in PDA, especially at a high-stakes anniversary dinner. Let the man breathe. Adedotun? Yes, Adedotun Kehinde says, public display of affection, PDA, is not for every partner and not at all public places. More reactions? So this is Angel Tony who says, but why would he refuse to kiss his wife? And Tiffy says, what if kissing his wife publicly will put attention on them and he doesn't want that? He is a governor. All right, so the debate rages on, guys. This is Key who says, more people really notice every little thing. Some see it as cold, others as respecting boundaries in public. At the end of the day, a marriage isn't measured by public or PDA. It's about how they treat each other behind the scenes. Yeah, but also, you know, body language also make perception key. I'm trying to, you know, say it the right way, and I'm also trying not to take sides. Who knows? Maybe it's just Governor Seyi Makinde's personality. Maybe he doesn't want the PDA. But wouldn't his wife have known that? But then again, it's the fault of the compare. He was the one that told the wife to give him a peck, and she tried doing it, and she was rebuffed. But I'm hoping that this does not mean that there is trouble in the marriage, like some netizens are implying. We move on now to the next hashtag, which is hashtag extortion fee. From Oyo, we are taking it back to Lagos here. So we have a number of posts showing a bus that was on fire, and we were told that it was Agberos that had lit up the bus, almost burning passengers in it. Why? because the driver refused to give them money. Now, there are sides to these stories. It's unfolding. We'll continue to keep our finger on it. And as it unfolds, we'll keep it posted. Let's take a look at the first post that's going to give us a background to it. Men set Lagos bus ablaze after driver refuses extortion fee. The video shows several men, some in helmets, dousing the bus with petrol and igniting it after the driver reportedly refused to pay Agberus, street touts who demanded fees from operators. Okay, so they are actually describing who Agberus is, or who Agberus are, beg your pardon. Street touts who demand fees from operators. Posters claim passengers were inside or nearby at risk of being burned alive, though no official confirmation of casualties or motive has come from Lagos police or authorities. Agberus have long harassed drivers at transport hubs, leading to violence like past protests and clashes. And the footage has fueled online anger over the unchecked extortion that endangers millions of daily commuters. Now, if you've never experienced this thing this person is talking about, then thank your goodness that you've not. It's not an experience you want to have. But hey, let's go online now. This is a summary of how this whole hashtag is panning out. So let's take a look at the next post, shall we? We're going to X now. So this is Nigeria Stories. Says, Lagos Agberus set a bus on fire and nearly burned the passengers because the driver refused to give them money. All this has to stop. Nigeria Stories picked it from Somto, who is very active online and is always breaking news like this. So let's go to Somto's page now, just to do due diligence. The next post. The next post. So Somto says, some Lagos Agberus set a bus on fire and nearly burned the passengers because the driver refused to give them money. So Somto was the one that broke the news. Take a look at the video he put up.
Jesus! Now come collect money. They won't collect 5K. I go ask what I do. Jesus! Now come collect money. They won't collect 5K. I go ask what I do.
Netizens are reacting to this. Can you imagine how the passengers must have felt when this was panning out? Like they were in the bus and the bus was being doused with petrol and then set ablaze. Now, some people were saying that, okay, so why did the operator, the bus driver, not pay his fees? That is, if this is a legit, if this is a legit operation. So let's go back online now so you see how netizens are reacting. So Chike Chukura says, the reported incident involving Agberus setting a bus on fire in Lagos is a stark reminder of the persistent and dangerous chaos caused by informal road taxis and local thuggery. The actions of these local touts demonstrate a severe lack of empathy and a disregard for human life. To nearly burn passengers alive over a refusal to pay money is not just chaotic, it is criminal and inhumane. By extorting drivers and damaging vehicles, they destabilize the transportation sector and increase costs for everyday commuters. Their might is right approach creates an atmosphere of fear, turning public spaces into zones of potential violence. For a city like Lagos that aims to be a global mega city, the unchecked power of street urchins is a major regression in urban development and security. Now, there's a concluding page of this particular post. Let's take a look at it. So this is the same post, the second page now. It says, the Lagos state government must move beyond temporary bans and occasional arrests There is an urgent need for immediate and decisive prosecution of anyone involved in arson or extortion to serve as a deterrent. Scrapping manual, cash-based collections in favor of digital systems to eliminate the need for touts at parks and bus stops. The transport reform initiative mentioned by the Ministry of Transportation must be accelerated to protect drivers and ensure passengers' safety. Increasing the presence of Rapid Response Squad, RRS, at known hotspots to preempt harassment before it escalates into violence. Gosh, this is holistic. Thank you so much for this post. More reactions now. Let's take a look at the next one. So this is M. My Rosie. Wow. M. My Rosie says, although the Agbaros Act is very uncalled for, but why did the driver refuse to pay his revenue? Daniel Rega says, this is what happens when Agbaros feel above the law. Unfortunately, they have been pushed and placed on a pedestal that if this was to get to the authorities, I won't be surprised if the case is swept under the carpet. The difference between many Agberos and bandits at this point is that bandits are heavily armed. God help us. We are our biggest nightmares. Jegbe says, it is high time the government took decisive action against the activities of Agberos in Lagos as they significantly contribute to the city's decline. It is concerning that addressing this issue remains so difficult. Now, based on these reactions, you can see that netizens are taking this matter seriously. Is it because it's what, a Lagosian faces on a daily basis? Most of them, especially commuters who ply, roads that would take them from their houses to their places of work. Now, we do hope that this incident is investigated and that perpetrators are brought to justice, right? We move on to the next one now. This just broke. It is hashtag National Prayer Breakfast. So, POTUS, talking about the President of the United States of America, was at a national prayer breakfast. It's a tradition of his, right? And he stopped to acknowledge our First Lady, Senator Remi Tinubu, because she was in attendance. And, the story is gaining momentum online. Like I told you, it's just breaking. The Vanguard has it as well as another publication. So let's go online now and see you take a look at the post. It is hashtag national. Can we take a look at the first post? Let's take a look at the first post. All right, before we come, these are the reactions. This is not what I want. The reactions has to come after the video. But before we take a look at the reactions, let's take a look at the video itself. Credit goes to the Vanguard for that story. Take a look at the video of President Trump, I should say, saluting Remi Tinubu.
But we're honored to be joined today by the First Lady of Nigeria, who also happens to serve as a Christian pastor at the largest church in Nigeria, a very respected woman. First Lady, please, where are you? Thank you very much. It's a great honor. Thank you very much. Very respected person, too. Thank you. I'm also working tirelessly.
Wow. It's awesome, isn't it? Remember that not too long ago, Nigeria hired a US lobbying firm, to actually take care of its image and to ensure that this hostility between Nigeria and the US is just taken away.
By US President Donald Trump
if this is a fruit of that, then gosh,
as Islamic State's target
But
in
hey,
December
let's take a look at how
2025.
netizens are
Of
reacting
US
to
troops
that.
arriving
It
in
looked like
Nigeria
Trump
have
was really in
sparked mixed
awe of the
reactions
First
across.
Lady, and he was looking around for her. But this is Senator Idris Haruna, who says, acknowledging a figurehead is not leadership while Nigerians face rising insecurity, economic hardship, and failing institutions. Our leaders focus on photo ops and foreign recognition. Real leadership is about protecting citizens and not improving lives, not seeking international applause. Let's take a look at the next post. There's another one that flashed on earlier on. I want for us to take a look at it. Yeah, thank you. So this is Emmanuel Uket, who says, this is the most beautiful thing I've seen today on the internet. God bless President Trump for honoring and recognizing Nigeria's first lady. So it's, for and against online right now. That's how this particular one is playing. Like you can see, Emmanuel Luquette's response is coming like 30 minutes ago. Senator Idris Haruna is coming 39 minutes ago. So this is a fresh story, and netizens are actually jumping on it. Now, we'll continue to keep you posted as events unfold. Our last hashtag for today is hashtag Adekunle Gold. You don't know him, right? He goes by the handle Big Fish on X. But today he was waxing philosophical. He's someone who's gone through a lot. He's a sickle cell patient who said he's survived the odds and he's okay now. He's got 2 kids and he's blissfully married to the love of his life, another very popular singer, Simi. So Adekunle Gold put up this post today and said he's someone who has encountered lots of challenges but refused to back down. Big Fish, Adekunle Gold says, take this advice from someone who's heard a lot of no's and a lot of silence. And he goes and says, do your thing alone if you have to. Put your heart into it and trust your vibe. Keep showing up even on the quiet days. It might take time, but you'll get there. You'll be fine. This post he put up has garnered hundreds of thousands of views. All right, that's an exaggeration. About 150,000 views and responses, actually. So let's take a look at some of the reactions to this particular one, shall we? Hashtag Adekunle Gold. So St. Michelson says, quiet days are the hardest. Showing up without applause builds something real. Still trusting that part. Yeah, I like it. More reactions? So this is Tina Brown, also known as the Logo Queen. Logo Queen says, emphasis on keep showing up even on the quiet days. Because trust me, in the beginning, it will look like no one is watching. It's just you. But if you can keep at it and not give up, things will eventually fall in place. I remember when I started putting my work out on social media, I consistently showed up for an entire year on Instagram and LinkedIn and didn't close a single client from those platforms. But guess who would keep showing up? Me. I don't know where I got that resilience. In December of 2023, there was a shift and the rest is history. If you come across this, I'm Tina Brown, a brand designer, and it's nice to meet you. Gosh, what a way to market herself. Let's take a look at the next post now. So this is The Secret LOA, who says, great advice. I do it always, even when I'm scared, even when I'm tired. I do it always. Even when I don't feel ready, I do it anyways. Even when nobody's cheering, even when it's easiest to stop, even when yesterday was tough, I do it anyways. One small step at a time. The next one. Yeah, so this is Ariella, who says, quiet days feel like you're not putting in effort. It feels like time is being wasted. But that's the thing. The quiet days are all part of the process. It will all work out the way you've envisaged, and you will get it done and get it done well. Ryan said, this hits hard. Progress is often lonely before it's visible. Keep building, keep believing, and keep showing up. Consistency has a way of turning silence into momentum. The quiet days don't mean you're off track. They mean you're becoming. Faith and Fortune says, that's the kind of advice you only earn by surviving the quiet seasons. Progress isn't loud. It's you showing up when no one's clapping. If you can stay true when it's lonely, you'll be unstoppable when it's not. Let's kind of take a look at the reactions, because Elon Musk, the richest man on the planet right now, is in the mix somehow. Yeah, that's it. DJ Highness Busy says, Adekunle Gold also said, money no they bring happy. Until when I get money, I realize though. And then he goes on to say, I still don't believe them. What do you think? And then he put up this screenshot by Elon Musk, who said, whoever said money can't buy happiness really knew what they were talking about. This is Elon Musk, really, after hitting a huge milestone, right? This post, he just put it up today and it has garnered over 23 million views. Let's take a look at the next post so you get context as regards what Elon Musk is saying here. So this is him. This is Elon Musk. He said, whoever said money can't buy happiness really knows or really knew what they were talking about. Let's take a look at the next post so you understand how people are talking about this post Elon put up on X. Elon Musk reflects on money's limits to happiness. Updated 36 minutes ago, The post came days after SpaceX's valuation pushed Musk past $800 billion for the first time amid his life with 14 children and high-stakes work at Tesla, SpaceX, and beyond. Replies poured in with support from Bill Ackman, urging him to value his impact, philosophical nods of faith, and loved ones from CZ and others. Plus humor like pleas for $1 million and the quip that poverty buys nothing. Critics dismissed it as a rich man's complaint, but many reminded him he is loved, tapping into studies showing happiness plateaus after about $100,000 a year. Now, this is where we get to wrap it up. Because so much can be said about this thing Elon Musk just said. Is it that he's unhappy, regardless of how rich he is and all? We probably will look at that some other time. But this is the much we can take for now. Thanks to everyone who contributed to making the show a success. But the bigger thanks goes to you guys for watching. If you liked it, keep at that again with us, same time, same station, for another edition of Hashtags. Until then, I'm Vivian Oguche, and bye for now.
I'm Sarah Nystrom from Sweden, aka Chief Omobawale Communication Queen. Keep watching VOP TV.
I am Samantha Jacobs, representing the States. Miami's in the house, and I want to make a shout out to VOP TV. I'm a humanitarian, and I'm also a rep in the film industry and the art industry. I help dreams come true, and I help you keep on that path. Shout out to VOP TV because you're helping people stay on their path too. Cheers.
All right, my name is John Odibo. Keep watching Voice of the People because it's a fantastic station to be with all the time. Thank you very much.
My name is Pastor Aviation, the convener of the Voice Achievers Award, and keep watching VOP. Yes, that is the channel for all the people. No color, no race. Thank you so much.
Yo, ladies and gentlemen, this is Abasunkan from the Netherlands. I am a designer and I'm here in Eco Hotel and Suits. Keep watching VOP, the voice of the people. Don't touch that dial.
Africa is on the move, a continent of rising voices, untold stories, and powerful transformations. From the streets of Lagos to the heart of Nairobi, from the mines of Congo to the tech labs of Cape Town, the African story is being written every day. Bold, dynamic, unstoppable. This is African News on Voice of the People Television. We don't just bring you the news. We analyze and bring you Africa's heartbeat, the politics that shapes our nations, the economies that drives our future, the cultures that defines who we are, the voice that must be heard. Africa News, Africa's voice, Africa's future. Where Africa speaks, the world listens.
In a world where power shifts with every headline.
In a nation full of questions.
In a world filled with noise, the truth needs a voice.
The policies that shapes our world and the economy that determines our future.
Every hour, every day, the grapevine keeps buzzing. And together, we are committed to telling the stories that shape our world because your voice is our focus.
Don't forget, our voice matters the most. Let us come together and share our concerns.
In a world where power shifts with every headlines, news breaks and events happens, we bring you unbiased and explicit information on politics, economy, and state of the nation. We break down the chaos. Facts, not fluff. Truth, not spin. We discuss not just politics, but a glimpse into the future. Voice of the People Television. Now you have more than a voice.
Do you want your voice to be heard? Do you know that you matter in the scheme of things? The People's Voice, the show where ordinary citizens take center stage. as we discuss the biggest stories that affect you and I. With you in mind, we facilitate lively discussions, debates, and interviews on the topics that matter most to you and I, from social justice to economic empowerment, education to healthcare, governance, and more. Tackling tough topics and amplifying your voice. Join the conversation and make your voice count. The people's voice. Make your voice count. The red carpets, awards, the razzmatazz, music, fashion, interviews, and more. Spotlight on Voice of the People Television. Let's feed you with all the juicy stories in the global entertainment space, bringing you the glitz and glamour as it is hot. Stay tuned to Spotlight, 1 p.m. Monday to Friday. Spotlight on VOP TV. Entertainment like never before. To know the happenings in the maritime sector, join us on the program Maritime Frontiers on VOP TV as we discuss key areas in the maritime sector, from aquaculture, maritime transportation, maritime labor regulation, oil and gas exploration, ferry and passenger insurance, marine pollution and prevention, port operations, and lots more. Maritime Frontiers, exploring Nigeria's blue economy.
Hello there, my name is Damilola Ogunsi, also known as the Goldfish.
Hi, my name is Chiki Bright Emmanuel. I'm an actor and a filmmaker.
Hello peeps, my name is Yomi E. Adejumo.
Hi everyone, I'm Paul Utomi.
Hi everyone, my name is Stacey Benjamin and this is Voice of the People TV.
I need you to keep it locked to VOP TV. See, I'm looking for good entertainment. You want to get good movies, good music, politics, talk shows, sports and entertainment. You really want a channel that gives you everything you need without you having to run around. VOP is where you are. That's Voice of the People.
If you're not listening to this, you're not one of us. And you deserve to be killed. Scrap chat. Don't be killed, but watch it. Or I'll find you. And I want you.
And you are locked on VOP TV. Don't go nowhere. This is where the juice is. This is where all you need for entertainment, politics, movies, and whatnot.
And keep watching VOP TV.
So keep it locked, because I'm locked already, man, and it's money back guarantee. So you're gonna have a good time, because I do.
And please keep watching VOP TV.
I won't want you actually. I beg you, subscribe, watch it. If not, whatever you see.
You better not touch that die, because VOP is the plot.
Welcome to the locker room, the home of football talk that matters. I am Jerry Aviation. Join us every weekday, Monday to Friday at 5 p.m. Nigerian time, as we share the hot takes and hot debates in the exciting world of football. And joining me are the usual suspects, Ikechukwu and Mayowa, as we break down all the hot takes and everything that's happening in the football. Don't just watch football, live it with us. Catch us on the locker room and Voice of the People Television at 5 p.m. Nigerian time. And like I always say, if not 20 minutes off, please discuss.
And it's Hakim Ziyech who puts the Atlas.
This is Health Check, your weekly guide to better living, smarter choices, and trusted answers. From everyday wellness to urgent health issues, we've got you covered. Health Check, only on Voice of the People Television, where your health has a voice.
Behind every broken desk lies a broken promise. Education shapes the nations. But who is asking the right questions? Introducing Edu Dialogue, the show that goes beyond the surface, exposes the cracks, the corruption, and the silence in Nigeria's education system. Edu Dialogue, Saturdays, 3 p.m., only on VOP TV. We break the biggest stories, from missing funds to policy failures. We ask the tough questions and demand real answers. Edu Dialogue, this Saturday, 3 p.m. on Voice of the People Television.
Welcome to the locker room, the home of football talk that matters. I am Jerry Aviation. Join us every weekday, Monday to Friday at 5 p.m. Nigerian time, as we share the hot takes and hot debates in the exciting world of football. And joining me are the usual suspects, Ikechukwu and Mayowa, as we break down all the hot takes and everything that's happening in the football. Don't just watch football, live it with us. Catch us on the locker room and Voice of the People Television at 5 p.m. Nigerian time. And like I always say, if not putting in the front, with the sport.
And it's Hakim Ziyech, who puts the
Join us as we drive into the world of politics through insightful interviews with prominent political figures, both serving and former governors, ministers, senators, legislators, party chieftains, activists, and analysts. Get first-hand information into the decision-making processes that affect our daily lives. Highly engaging one-hour program that brings political discourse into focus.
I am Chukwuma Okoro.
Political Lens, Monday through Friday, 6 to 7 p.m. Join us.
Mr. Familoni, and here's to VOP TV. Keep watching, stay tuned, do not touch that dial.
Arararara, my name is Made Kuti and you're watching VOP TV. Keep watching.
Welcome, my name is Zika Davis. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, boys, viewers, everybody, boys and girls. This is VOP TV. Do you know what that means? Voice of the People TV. You don't have a voice, don't come here. You better make sure your voice is heard.
Are you ready for the extraordinary? Something big is happening on your screen. Introducing VOP TV. Now streaming on SLTV channel 264. From breaking news to captivating conversations, news analysis, giving you all sides to the story. We break in-depth discussions on the issues that matter, from politics to sports, entertainment, and lifestyle. VOP TV on SLTV channel 264. Join us as we redefine what television means to you. Voice of the People Television, VOP TV. Now you have more than a voice. In a world where truth is the ultimate power and opinions scream the loudest, it's time to wade through the noise.
Hunger no get tribe! Hunger no get religion!
And scan the human interest and trending topics that matter. Stay tuned to The Issues, your plug to the stories making the buzz, from politics to science and technology, social justice, and more. Let's tackle the tough questions and expose the truth. The Issues on Voice of the People Television. Don't just react, understand. Do you want your voice to be heard? Do you know that you matter in the scheme of things? The People's Voice, the show where ordinary citizens take center stage as we discuss the biggest stories that affect you and I. With you in mind, we facilitate lively discussions, debates, and interviews on the topics that matter most to you and I, from social justice to economic empowerment, education to healthcare, governance, and more. Tackling tough topics and amplifying your voice. Join the conversation and make your voice count. The people's voice. Make your voice count. Awards, the razzmatazz, music, fashion, interviews, and more. Spotlight on Voice of the People Television. Let's feed you with all the juicy stories in the global entertainment space, bringing you the glitz and glamour as it is hot. Stay tuned to Spotlight, 1 p.m. Monday to Friday. Spotlight on VOP TV. Entertainment like never before.
Well, hello and welcome to News Hour on Voice of the People TV. I am Vivian Oguche.
And I am Nenna Ndomdioto. Before we begin the news, kindly visit our website www.vop.ng for fresh and trending news. Here are the headlines. Gunmen killed 13 in Benue.
Also, ADC slams federal government over Kwara massacre.
Situation room slams Senate for rejecting e-transmission.
APC replaces Uzodinma with Masari as convention chair.
Health workers suspend 84-day strike.
Ekiti CJ frees 57 awaiting trial inmates.
On the foreign scene, Trump removes videos showing Obamas as monkeys.
Well, in business news, Naira slips after 2-day gain.
In sports, Ronaldo to miss second consecutive game for Al Nassr.
And in the world of entertainment, police detain officers over Ijoba Lande attack.
Now the news and details. Gunmen suspected to be herders have killed 13 people in a fresh attack on a community in Benue State. The attackers stormed Anwase Market in Bakio, Kwande local government area, taking several market women captive and setting the market on fire. E.B. Andrew, an aide to the Kwande local government chairman, Vitalis Neji, confirmed the dirt and said the chairman, alongside security agencies, have mobilized to the area to restore calm and prevent further attacks.
In the meantime, the African Democratic Congress, ADC, has condemned the killing of over 70 people in Kaima, Kwara State, blaming the Bola Tinubu-led federal government for a collapse of national security. In a statement, ADC National Publicity Secretary Bolaji Abdullahi said the massacre exposes the failure of recent security measures, including the declared state of emergency and promised police recruitment. The party is demanding urgent accountability and a clear strategy to stop the rising wave of violence. It also criticized what it called a pattern of denial and inaction, stressing that human lives are not mere numbers and leadership goes beyond rhetoric. The ADC urged the government to be transparent on the country's security, provide updates on promised recruitments, and outline measures to halt a terrorist activity.
Elsewhere, suspected thugs attacked and vandalized the ADC Secretariat in Benin City on Wednesday, damaging part of the building and party property. The attack prompted a swift police response, and investigations are ongoing to track down those responsible. Correspondent Rhoda Journey has more.
Tension gripped parts of Edo State on Wednesday after suspected thugs attacked the Secretariat of the African Democratic Congress, vandalizing the facility and allegedly attempting to set it ablaze. A video circulating on social media shows shattered glass, damaged sections of the building, and torn ADC flags. The attackers reportedly fled before causing further damage. No casualties were reported and calm has since been restored.
Secretariat
in Ogberaka, and we see the wanton destruction of these miscreants, nuisance. Agberos and pedestrians have come to do as our national secretariat. So they've destroyed our poles, our flags, our banners. You know, they feel very threatened that the ADC of Edo State is about to kickstart a new era of change. We see they destroyed the vehicles. The CCTV camera that was here was pulled down. We see this other one was too high, so they could not access this other one. They destroyed, look at the stones they're using in breaking our glasses, just because they do not want opposition to thrive, which is practically impossible. Look at the arson, they poured fuel here, they poured fuel, they littered it, tried to put the building on fire. They also came from behind, they broke the louvers, they poured fuel into the building, and they lit it, but the building could not. So they destroyed, they disconnected the CCTV camera. Look at the one we have there. It was disconnected before they started destruction. They carted away with some of them. The other one that was there was one on the floor there, this one, by this front. They carted away the CCTV camera. So we want to send a message to the governor of Edo State. He's the chief security officer.
In a press statement from its Benin City headquarters, the Edo State Police Command said investigations are ongoing to apprehend those responsible. The commander praised the prompt distress call, urged residents to report emergencies through its dedicated lines, and warned that anyone found culpable would face the full wrath of the law. Rhoda Johnny, VOP TV News.
Rhoda, thank you. Now, this report says that the Nigeria Civil Society Situation Room has criticized the Senate over its passage of a version of the Electoral Act Amendment Bill 2026, calling it retrogressive. The group, led by Yunusa Yao and conveners Celestine Odo and Maudi, expressed disappointment that the Senate removed provisions requiring real-time electronic transmission of results, making it discretionary. They want the move weakens transparency and opens loopholes for manipulation, contrary to reforms agreed by the Joint National Assembly Committees on Electoral Matters and Lessons from the 2023 elections. In a related development, the Southeast partner of the Youth Electoral Reform Project also faulted the Senate for rejecting a proposed constitutional amendment to make electronic transmission mandatory. Our correspondent, Rhoda Johnny, again reports.
Rejection of a proposed amendment to the Electoral Act that would have made the electronic transmission of election results mandatory. The South-South partner of the Youth Electoral Reform Project, Nigeria, has called for the immediate transmission of the constitutional amendment bill to the states. The bill, passed by the House of Representatives in December 2025, seeks to amend the Constitution to make the electronic transmission of electoral results compulsory, aiming to enhance transparency and reduce electoral malpractice.
On the rejection of the mandatory transmission of election results in real time by the Senate, a betrayal of the Nigerian people that should be corrected. We call on all youth across the South-South region and Nigeria at large to reach out to the legislators on the importance of including the mandatory transmission of electronic results in real time as passed by the House of Representatives in the Electoral Act. Also, we call on all senators and members of the House of Representatives here in Edo State and across the South-South zone and Nigeria at large to stand with the constituents. Standing with their constituents means voting for the electronic transfer of electoral results in real time, as earlier passed by the House of Representatives.
Is a youth-led civic organization committed to advancing inclusive governance, transparency, and youth participation in public decision-making across Nigeria. Established to bridge the gap between citizens, particularly young people, and public institutions, Connected Advocacy works at the intersection of policy advocacy, civic education, accountability, and youth leadership development.
Is a coalition of youth-focused, non-governmental organizations that is engaging with a diverse group of young people to identify and advocate for specific electoral reform recommendations. The consortium has partner organizations in Nigeria 6 geopolitical zones and youth networks across the 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory. In April 2024, our consortium, Youth Across the Country and other electoral stakeholders, adopted electoral reform recommendations.
At a press briefing in Benin City, the Youth Electoral Reform Project Nigeria officials described the Senate decision as a setback for electoral transparency and warned that delays in releasing the bill could undermine Nigeria's democratic process. Rhoda Johnny, VOP TV News.
Thank you very much, Rhoda. We now move on to politics. The All Progressive Congress has replaced Imo State Governor Hope Uzodinma with former Katsina State Governor Aminu Bello Masari as chairman of the National Convention Central Coordination Committee ahead of the party's March 27, 28, 2026 convention. The party said Uzodinma, previously named chairman, will now serve as treasurer, following the reconstitution of the committee, which was also expanded from 73 to 90 members, including Senator Barim Pigi and other senior party figures. Under the revised structure, former Senate President Anyim Powers Anyim was named Vice Chairman 1, while Kwara State Governor Abdurrahman Abdurrazak will serve as Vice Chairman 2. Yobe State Governor May Malabuni remained Secretary. The changes come days after Uzodinma was first named Chairman, signaling intensified preparations for the convention, which will elect new members of the party's National Working Committee.
Well, turning to other stories now, the Joint Health Sector Unions has suspended its 84-day strike. The National President Kabir Minjibir confirmed on Friday. The suspension follows a last-minute intervention by the Federal Ministry of Labor on Thursday night. The strike, which paralyzed government hospitals nationwide, left patients stranded and forced many to seek care elsewhere. Johesu, representing health professionals in pharmacies, laboratories and support services, said the action will resume if the federal government fails to implement the 2021 Technical Committee report on Conhen's adjustments. The prolonged strike also prompted a 14-day ultimatum from the Nigeria Labour Congress and Trade Union Congress in solidarity with the health workers.
Let's now go to Enugu State, where Enugu Air says flight operations have returned to normal at Akano Ibiam International Airport, following a protest by airport staff over the federal government's concession plan. The protest began after the government signed the concession agreement on January 23, which workers opposed, citing concerns over labor and welfare issues and the process used. Demonstration restricted access to the terminal, affecting passengers, airline staff, and flights. Enugu Air said multiple departures and arrivals were disrupted, particularly its morning flights, and some services may be rescheduled.
And now the Chief Judge of Ekiti, Justice Lekon Ogumoye, has ordered the release of 57 awaiting trial inmates at the Ado-Ekiti Correctional Center. The release followed a jail delivery exercise during which the judge reviewed 518 cases involving 511 men and 7 women. 6 inmates were granted bail, 9 discharged for having no case to answer, and 42 released unconditionally due to minor offenses or real health. The Chief Judge praised stakeholders, including the Police Legal Unit, DPP, lawyers, and court registrars, as well as the Correctional Center management for maintaining a hygienic environment. He urged released inmates to be law-abiding. The Ekiti State Controller of Corrections noted the facility is overcrowded, housing 922 inmates against the capacity of 324, and appealed for more cells and infrastructure to improve rehabilitation and reformation. Well, joining us virtually to analyze these stories is Frank Ayala. Frank is a banker and a public affairs analyst. Frank, always a pleasure to have you join us. Welcome aboard.
Good evening. How are you doing?
Awesome. And how are you?
I'm doing very good.
All right. Let's hit the ground running, shall we? So unfortunately now, gunmen suspected to be herders have killed 13 people in a fresh attack on a community in Benue State. This is mind-boggling. First it was Kwara and then Benue in quick succession, Frank. Can you wrap your head around this?
I think it's really disappointing to note that this age and time, the government is still pretending not to know what is going on. In as much as they know what is going on. It's also become very annoying that the life of average Nigeria is becoming worthless, because this is the way you buy paper, you are trying to go through the normal daily, you start seeing the count of people that are dead, and the government did not deem it fit to stir up their capacity to deal with the issues. It was also on news that a few days ago, over 200 people were killed in Kwara, and the governors have set up a committee to review what led to those massacres. Then again, you ask yourself, do we really still have government? Because the work of government is to bridge the gap between the aggrieved and the peaceful people. So if the government has failed in this responsibility, there is no point saying we have a government. Then again, where do we go to? Nigerians are not allowed to carry arms. Then the people that carry arms to protect us, which are the police, are not doing something that we don't know what they are being paid to do. So the life of a Nigerian man is becoming worthless on a daily basis. Master, we are talking of 30 dead, 30 people. They are not sick, it was not an accident. They were in their various houses, somebody broke into their house and killed them. 30. Yeah, I think it's really annoying, and it's going to be a point where Nigeria need to come out and march the street to tell the government that if you are not competent enough to secure the life of Nigeria, there's no point to have you in that office.
Well, Frank, before my colleague Nina comes on board, do you think that the fact that abductees are released or rescued without perpetrators brought to book is one of the factors fueling this incessant kidnapping? Do you think, because we just had the worshippers in Kaduna State, the rest of them were released, but no mention of the perpetrators brought to book? What do you think about this?
Then, if you might not like Erufai, the former governor of Kaduna State, who once told us on the screen on national television that they know where the kidnappers are. They've gone to settle them to stop killing their people. What has happened to that statement? That was an open confession. Then again, the same Erufai came up on national television recently to say the government is paying 1 billion naira to settle criminals as against dealing with the criminals. If you do all this analysis put together, you come to that conclusion that people in government in the very high places are involved in this massacre. So they need to tell us what they need, so that Nigeria will give them what they need and stop killing people. Recently, when it happened in Kaduna, 172 people were killed. Now 170 people, the government commissioner in Kaduna came to deny it in the open. The local government made an attempt to go to that committee to ask them to deny the fact that their people were kidnapped and they are inside in various forests. These characters that call themselves leaders in our various capacity, don't need to be called a leader. So it becomes very clear that people in the government circle, a very high powerful people within the government, know what is happening to the killing in Nigeria. If not, what stops the police from going after those people? We hear, they've released 170 people, like a Kaduna very shameless governor who came out to tell the whole world that those people that were relieved are reunited with their people, without going to detail to say, okay, those kidnappers we are dealt with, or this is what's going to happen to those people. So it's become so worrisome that our government have really lost focus. They've lost the relevance of why they are in the office. So we begin to suspect that people in the very high places are involved in this shenanigan that is going on within our security sector.
Okay, Frank, while you were speaking, you made mention of what happened in Kayama, which is a local government area in Kwara State, where over 70 persons, been having different divergent views. Some persons are saying 70, and then some are saying more than 100, more than 170 persons. And the African Democratic Congress, just like you, have also condemned this killing of these people, and have accused the president of presiding over a total collapse of national security. But I want you to just speak to the fact that the president, as of yesterday, when he responded to this particular attack, he's asked for deployment of soldiers. Do you think that that response by the president, and we've seen the U.S. come out to actually applaud this particular swift response of our president, do you think that that's actually that's the right thing to do? That the deployment of those soldiers, will it actually change anything in what change the narrative?
The same president when he took it out, this president in January state 23 days out of his territory. Within that 23 days, who was in charge? Within that 23 days, who was in charge? Is it the same president that went to the United States to go and meet Obama, Biden, to say Jonathan, we are weak, that he can no longer protect the life of Nigerians on the street? If you go to your statistics, you will discover that since this Bola Ahmed Tinubu become president, we have lost over 10,000 people through this insurgence. Over 10,000 people. Please fact check me. It's not to issue statement. Recently, our other state, Mawole Soyinka, have to say, okay, we don't need to send a troop to Benin. We can remove Sheyi's security protocol to go and fight, to go and do whatever they need to do in Benin. So, is it that same president that is issuing a statement to Nigerian people? I don't believe anybody that believes the statement of the president is doing that at his own risk. Why can't you prevent the incident before it happens? After when the incident happens, we now start issuing a statement. How many military strength, how many staff, how many military personnel do we have that will secure the whole nation? Our borders are porous. The president is not looking at that direction to safeguard the life of Nigerian people. Rather, the only thing he's thinking is to tax the Nigerian people. So I think it's becoming very clear that this current APC are led by our president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. There's so high level of incompetency that we can no longer trust them to secure our life. Yes, they do something very secure the life of Nigerian people. Because when you say people are dying, these are people's parents, these are people's children, these are people's husbands, these are people's father. 30 people die in one day, not that we are fighting war, not that we are fighting external war. Even Ukraine and Russia that are fighting, I don't think they lose 30 people in one single day. That we see that we lost people. In Kwara, we lost over 200 people. The only reason police were giving was the community where the incident happened is about 6 hours away from where the police headquarters is. But it's not far away when they want to collect us and exclude people for their personal gain. The president has stayed 23 days out of 30 days in the country. Is that a serious president? Can Donald Trump stay 5 days out of his America?
Well,
what are they saying? What are they saying?
Frank, now that you mentioned Donald Trump, not too long ago, Trump came on board to say that the U.S., in collaboration with the Nigerian government, have decided to send troops to the country. So we have American soldiers, boots on ground right now. I don't know whether it's too early to gauge the impact of that action. But you remember during then President Goodluck Jonathan, when the Americans came to collaborate with the Nigerian military, they left in anger and said they couldn't work with the Nigerians. Do you see a replay of that, or do you think the American soldiers in the country will ensure that things work out perfectly regarding security?
VOP, first of all, for Americans to have the boot on ground in Nigeria is a failure of our government. It's an indication that our government has failed woefully, and their incompetence is becoming very loud. Do America have a foot soldiers in Ghana? They didn't have a foot on the Ghana soil. Why must it be Nigeria? Because our government has failed woefully. That's why we are not celebrating that the America actually know our soil. So for me, If America will bring in 1 million foot soldiers, I think at this conjuncture is highly welcome. Because the people we entrust to do that, to defend the territory of Nigeria, they fail. So I will not say it's too early to impact their, also depends on scope of their good program. Because they are not privy to what they will discuss and the area they will need to cover. When government are negotiating with bandits, what will the American government do? The Bible says when the coalition is being destroyed, what can the righteous do? If we have the problem is the one negotiating bandits, what will the American government do? So if they need to help us, they need to help us more. Because we have lost so much confidence in these people that are in this office. Then again, as we speak today, that's the government we have. We don't have another government.
Okay, Frank, let's move to some politics. You know, suspected thugs attacked and vandalized the Secretariat of the African Democratic Congress in Benin City, and of course, damaging parts of the building. You know, this is not the first of these incidents. We've seen things like this happen over the years. But what does this say about political tolerance that we have in this country? Because yes, we don't actually know who did this, but the agency are pointing accusing fingers at a certain party. But what does this speak to political tolerance that we have in this country?
We don't need to ask who did this. Me, I can confidently tell you clearly that APC, this is the work of APC. Because currently APC is G3. APC is G3 because they've done nothing. Nigeria cannot trust APC with additional 1 day in office after 2027. They know. That's why they are trying to make sure, because they were looking at PDP and Labour as the only opposition party because of which there will be an article. Forgetting that they were under other political parties that their platform can be used to unseat them. So, ADC should expect more of this shenanigan. We see what happened in Alimosho in Lagos. When ADC wanted to meet, because some people about 500 people want to decamp from APC to Labour to ADC. We know what happened to them in Alimosho when they went to start. So it's their pattern. It's their pattern. Don't also forget that the G7 governor in Edo State that promised 2.5 million votes. Edo State has never produced more than 600,000 votes or 800,000 votes. I imagine we're going to get 2.7 million, 2.5 million votes from. The total accredited voter in Edo, the registered voter in Edo, I don't think they're out to 3 million. The Edo State population as well is less than 7 million. Where will one governor? So this is the problem I have with this APC, these clueless people that are ruling us today. They think it's by making them not to organize, not to have a point of contact that will give them the victory they need. They are getting it wrong. Average Nigerian man is tired. We saw a viral video that went out recently. How a city senator, how he spend our money in a private jet doing whatever he knows how to do best. So those are things that are going to pile up against them. They know that they say the Nigerian people woefully. So we are not accusing any other party. It is the work of APC. Because they told us in Edo, there's video everywhere, that no party will campaign in Edo apart from APC. And my advice for them, they should allow Nigeria to vent their anger to the ballot box. They should allow Nigeria to the ballot box. Because those are part of the democracy we are enjoying today. Because they also did the same thing. They were more violent in 2014.
Well, now,
we are seeing today.
Now that you've mentioned voting and you've been talking about 2027, now you do remember that there's been this back and forth, between opposition lawmakers and the Senate president over the electoral bill that's just been passed. Now, the Nigeria Civil Society Situation Room has criticized the Senate over its passage of what it described as a retrogressive version of the Electoral Act Amendment Bill 2026, faulting the removal of mandatory electronic transmission of results and the reduction of the election notice period. Frank, this is an open-ended question. What do you make of this?
Then let's look at the personality of who's our Senate president. I think Nigeria we are being fooled to believe that they're going to do any amendment to electoral bill. I'm not surprised. I don't expect anything better from what they've done. Because when you look at the characters, when you look at the character that at the end of our faith today in our nation, like Godson Akpabio, don't also forget that the professor that ring election for Akpabio is in detention. It's in jail. He was jailed. The person that rig election for Akpabio is in jail. He was prosecuted by INEC, who announced the result, and the professor is in jail. It is that character that rigged the election that you are now hoping that is going to block the loophole that he took advantage of because of you. That is one. Let's create a context around this issue. Immediately after 2027 election, when the matter went to Supreme Court, and if you listen to Supreme Court judgment, we might blame them that some of our judicial officers are corrupt. We can blame them, but we need to look at the law. Without fairness or justice, the electoral transmission of results is not part of your law. INEC, that column of the law, subject the process that will be more convenient and more cost effective for INEC to decide. And whatever INEC decide is not a law. It's a moral burden on them to hold on to what they said they want to do. Then they get that professor of glitches who have no shape. Those are the characters that this current government are nominated for ambassadorial list. A man that went to Chartered House to tell the whole world that Beaver and RF is a game changer. There is going to be online transmission of results from the polling unit to polling center to how you call it. That's a professor of glitches. How the effort to tell the whole world that there was a glitch. Today, we not discuss the scope of glitch. It was from that judgment for Supreme Court that says INEC has a moral right to determine what is more convenient for them, looking at all available chances. INEC, that's okay. Since professor have already defined what is called glitches to himself, he now do whatever he need to do. INEC, so based on that, we still now form a committee. The committee is sat 27 times. The committee looking at that Supreme Court judgment that we cannot subject the life of our election to the hand of the judges, who to a very large extent could be compromised. They are human, they are Nigerians, they have family within the political terrain. As Wike wife is a member of the appeal court. So why would Wike not tell him what to do or what I need to do at home? That man from Bauchi, Bukacha, who once told us that you know what is it for APC to get in wife, to influence in wife, to turn the result in, to turn the judgment in their favor. So we are not saying it from here. It's not alleged. That is exactly what he said in the National Assembly. So 27, the Senate that was appointed for that committee sat 27 times, including a member of House of Reps. They came out with the resolution the best way to make sure that the life of Nigerian democracy.
With the former Katsina State Governor Aminu Bello Basari, as chairman of the National Convention, I don't know if I don't know what you make of this. What do you think about this? Some days ago, Hope Uzodimma was named the chairman, and now he's been taken to become the treasurer in preparation for their convention coming up in March.
APC is completely confused. If they like, they should go and bring AJ from able to come and be their chairman. APC will lose election. The numbers are not so. Masari that age is already dealing with, because they also know that Hope Uzodimma does not control the influence of the southeast. They know. So what this government is doing, they are trying to penetrate the northwest because of the number from Kaduna, from Kano, from Katsina, Zamfara possibly. So they step you Hope Uzodimma down. Don't also forget that Hope Uzodimma is not in good terms with Wike, who is a very right arm of the president. So there are so many politics that is going on around the Hope Uzodimma. Don't also forget that Hope Uzodimma is his last tenure. He might not be able to replace himself with APC in Imo State. So my advice to them, if they like, let them change the leadership of APC 1 million times. APC will find it difficult to convince Nigeria to give them a second chance, because currently they fail woefully. Recently, Adam Soshomole came to the screen to tell the whole world that Nigerians are now beginning to complain that food has become cheap. The same Adam Soshomole who took this country into strike, thousands during Obasanjo government because they took fuel from 11 naira to 22 naira, and for 22 naira to 14 naira. That same Adam Soshomole shamelessly now telling us that food has become cheap. Don't forget that inflation is still double digits. Double digits. Look at the foolishness of APC. Look at their foolishness. When Buhari, the most disastrous person we ever produced as president, took our inflation to 32%. That was 35,000 naira. Tinubu that is saying that food has become cheap, inflation is 50%, that is still within 60,000 naira. Who are they deceiving? Even the number they put on, they don't believe in those numbers. So let them change leadership at any convention. APC will find it very difficult to convince Nigerians that they are the best for us. For me, and looking at what the street is saying, these are disasters that call themselves leaders in this country.
Well, Frank, let me quickly come in here. You know, shortly before Unena asked you this question about the APC and, changing of Hope Uzodimma, it looked like we had lost you briefly, lost connection with you briefly, and you had not landed on your thoughts regarding the electronic transfer of results. Am I right on that? Did you land on your thoughts before this next question?
No, I could not land because there was another question I needed to attend to. So for me, Akpabio, you see, look at the profile of Akpabio, somebody that came out and attacked accused him of being morally corrupt, morally bankrupt. His sister-in-law also came to the air to say the same thing. Is it that person that the Senate is trusting to give them electoral reform? Akpabio that did not win election, did not even contest primary, is a Senate president. Is it that person that you are saying is going to give you electoral reform? Nigeria have to wake up for that reality. So how would that advance Nigeria? While you are asking your hope on God, come out massively, defend your vote and defend your vote. So if you are expecting these other people that are so corrupt that the corrupt loophole in the electoral act that brings them to power, you expect them to block it, wake up on me. Because Akpabio can never, I can bet my fears, Akpabio can never amend that to suit what Nigeria wants.
But Frank, why do you think everybody is crying foul over the electronic transmission of results? If they think, or if Nigerians think results or its transmission can be manipulated manually, isn't there a huge possibility that it can also be manipulated even though it is electronically transmitted?
The chances will be less. You know what? If you look at the dual election, when we went to court, that's where you also look at our lordship in the judiciary. I think they also should not allow the politician to mess them up. If you look at the dual election the way it went, look at the proceeding from, it becomes very clear that you cannot defend what is not on the law. If electoral transmission is on the law and INEC refuses to comply to it, that election as conducted by INEC can become invalid. But now the law, you are getting that particular column to INEC to decide. INEC can tell you anything. Professor Grichis was ready to tell you that the wife was in the clinic and so you cannot announce results. So that's why the law needs to be very clear. And the procedure needs to be adopted for such processes. So that if you go out of that process, you cannot approach the law court to say, okay, let's go and seek interpretation to say, why do you do this? But now you cannot, because the law allocates to them, to INEC, Professor Grichis in particular, to determine the best mode of transmissions. And don't also forget that Nigeria we have over 700,000 polling units. Imagine carrying documents from one to go to collation, because collation center is where they do the rigging. We see what happened in Edo State, that when there was a complete lockdown, Ganduje came in, he flew in through a private jet and brought a result for them to come and announce in Edo State. They checked the collation center. Today, what do we have? We have D7 governor that is promising a president 2.7 million votes, 2.5 million votes, even we have not even carpet vote. Even when the total voter card collected in Edo is not up to 3 million votes. So that is why we want the law to be very clear. It shouldn't be ambiguous for interpretation. It should be very clear to say, if you do these implications. That's why Fabio is scared. That's why the president is also scared that if you put it on this, they cannot rig that election.
Okay, Frank.
But if it's not clear, they will rig that election.
Okay, I will have to let you go at this point. Thank you very much for speaking extensively on these issues. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that.
Yeah, we'll be speaking with Frank Ayala, who is a banker and a public affairs analyst. And of course, we want to tell you that the views and opinion expressed by our analysts are solely their own and does not reflect that of VOP Media. Moving on, the Nigeria Police Force has returned $23,000 recovered from a Nigerian man accused of an international online romance scam to the victim in the Cayman Islands. Police spokesperson Benjamin Hundeyi said the funds were recovered by the Interpol National Central Bureau in Abuja, following a formal request from the Royal Cayman Islands Police Service. Operatives carried out intelligence-led investigations that led to the arrest of Achufusi Obioma Ikenna and the recovery of the stolen funds. After legal procedures were completed, the money was handed over via the British High Commission for onward transmission to the victim. Ikenna will face court proceedings once investigations conclude. The police described the recovery as proof of the commitment to intelligence-led policing, international cooperation, and the fight against cross-border cybercrime.
Well, turning to other stories now, the National Orientation Agency, NOA, has successfully conducted its 2026 nationwide staff promotion exam, marking the second year of the computer-based testing system introduced by Director General Lanre Issa Onilu. The exam was facilitated by the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board. Speaking on the development, NOA's Director of Human Resources, Jonah, thanks the DG for fulfilling his promise to conduct early promotion exams for staff. Before CBT, staff had to travel across states to sit for exams. The new system allows them to write exams within their own states, improving professionalism and supporting career development. The transition from handwritten exams to CBT is part of broader reforms to modernize NOA's operations and enhance efficiency.
And now to those states where Governor Mande Okpebholo has commended the rapid progress on the Ikpoba Hill flyover at Ramat Park and ongoing erosion control works in the area. During an inspection, he praised the government's commitment to delivering durable infrastructure, improving traffic flow, and addressing environmental concerns in Benin City. Correspondent Rhoda Johnny has more.
Hill flyover at Ramat Park and related erosion control projects, stressing the need for timely completion and quality execution. Speaking from the top of the flyover, Governor Okpebholo commended the contractors for their progress and urged them to maintain speed and diligence.
Well, it's our normal routine check, just to see what they are doing, and for them to know that we are serious, for them to also buckle up. They are doing a good job. You can see they've started backfilling. So, and by the time they cast this span now, they have already cast some spans there. So, which means the job is almost at the point of completion. And that's exactly why we are following them up.
The visit drew excitement from traders and residents who welcomed the projects and highlighted their potential to ease traffic, reduce flooding, and improve the overall environment in Benin City.
When I see the governor, I always feel happy because it's Okpebholo that come and rescue us. Look at the only man that remembers us in Kobai.
Naira recorded depreciation against the United States dollar on Thursday at the official foreign exchange as a two-day massive gain. And the Central Bank of Nigeria's data showed that on Thursday, the Naira dropped to 1,366.06 against the dollar, down from 1,358.28 Naira. which was traded on Wednesday. This means that on a day-to-day basis, the naira weakened by 7.78 naira against the dollar. Meanwhile, at the black market, the naira remained flat at 1,460 naira per dollar on Thursday, the same exchange rate as on Wednesday. The development comes as the country's foreign reserves stood at $46.81 as of 4th February 2026, according to the Apex Bank. Now, recall that the naira had gained 32.08 against the dollar from Tuesday to Wednesday at the official foreign exchange market.
Still in business, the Nigerian Exchange Limited closed the week bullish on Friday with 1.105 trillion naira profit added to the portfolios of investors. Specifically, the market capitalization, which opened at 109.129 trillion naira, gained 1.105 billion naira or 1.01% to close at 110.234 trillion naira. The all-share index also gained by 1.01% or 1,722.13 points to close at 171,727.49 against 170,005.36 recorded on Thursday. This led to the year-to-date return to 10.36%. Also, the market breadth closed positive with 60 gainers and 19 losers. A total of 953.8 million shares worth 43.1 billion naira were exchanged in 51,005 deals against 712.9 million shares valued at 22.3 billion naira. Those traded across 46,104 transactions. This showed a 34% increase in volume, 94% growth in turnover, and 11% improvement in deals.
Well, in sports news, Cristiano Ronaldo has been left out of the Al Nassr squad for the second consecutive game amid doubts over his future at the Saudi club. The 41-year-old also missed Monday's 1-0 league win against Al Riyadh, reportedly refusing to play due to dissatisfaction with how the club is run by Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund. Ronaldo joined Al Nassr in December 2022 after leaving Manchester United, becoming the highest-paid footballer in history with an annual salary of £177 million. Since joining, he has won only the Arab Club Champions Cup in 2023, despite signing a 2-year contract extension in June 2025.
Nigeria Tennis Federation President Victor Uche is confident Nigeria will defeat Uzbekistan in the Davis Cup World Group 2 promotion playoff in Lagos. Uche said the team is ready, organized, and hungry, adding that promotion will restore Nigeria's place on the global tennis stage. He noted that world-class preparations, improved facilities, and focused training have boosted the team's confidence ahead of the decisive clash.
While in entertainment news, the Lagos State Police Command has confirmed that officers allegedly involved in an attack on actor and content creator Ijoba Lande have been identified and are under investigation. Lande, who recently returned from the UK, said he and a friend were attacked by police, leaving him injured and resulting in the seizure of his iPhone 16 Pro Max and $1,200 belonging to his brother. A video shared online showed blood on his face and shirt following the incident. The Lagos Police Public Relations Officer SP Abimbola Adebisi said statements are being taken from the actor, his friend, and the officers involved in the promised further updates as the investigation continues. And it's a wrap on News Hour, but before we go, a quick look at the headlines. We told you that gunmen have killed 13 in Benue.
Also, ADC
for rejecting e-transmission.
APC replaces Uzodinma with Masari as convention chair.
We also told you that health workers have suspended 84-day strike.
Also, Ekiti CJ frees 57 awaiting trial inmates.
On the foreign scene, we told you that Trump has removed a video showing Obamas as monkeys.
In business, Naira sleeps after 2-day gain.
Well, in sports news, Ronaldo to miss second consecutive game for Al Nassr.
And in the world of entertainment, police detain officers over Ijoba Lande attack. Do well to subscribe to our YouTube channel. On YouTube, we are at Voice of the People Television, and other social media platforms, we are at VOP TV Live. We witness news happening near you. We want to hear from you. Send your eyewitness reports, event coverage requests, photos or videos directly via WhatsApp to 081-4606-4057. You can also reach our newsroom by email at news@vop.ng. I am Nenna Ndomdioto.
And I am Vivian Oguche. Thank you for watching.
In a world where power shifts with every headline.
In a nation full of questions.
In a world filled with noise, the truth needs a voice.
The policies that shapes our world and the economy that determines our future.
Every hour, every day, the grapevine keeps buzzing. And together, we are committed to telling the stories that shape our world because your voice is our focus.
Don't forget, our voice matters the most. Let us come together and share our concerns.
In a world where power shifts with every headlines, news breaks and events happens, we bring you unbiased and explicit information on politics, economy and state of the nation. We break down the chaos. Facts, not fluff. Truth, not a spin. We discuss not just politics, but a glimpse into the future. Voice of the People Television. Now you have more than a voice.
This is Health Check, your weekly guide to better living, smarter choices, and trusted answers. From everyday wellness to urgent health issues, we've got you covered. Health Check, only on Voice of the People Television, where your health has a voice.
Welcome to the locker room, the home of football talk that matters. I am Jerry Aviation. Join us every weekday, Monday to Friday at 5 p.m. Nigerian time, as we share the hot takes and hot debates in the exciting world of football. And joining me are the usual suspects, Ikechukwu and Mayowa, as we break down all the hot takes and everything that's happening in the football. Don't just watch football, live it with us. Catch us on the locker room and Voice of the People Television at 5 p.m. Nigerian time. And like I always say, if not going to talk, please discuss.
And it's Hakim Ziyech who puts the
Good morning, Nigeria, and welcome to VOP this morning on Voice of the People Television. I am Chukwuma Okoro. Thank God today is Friday. TGIF, as usual. I get to rest over the weekend. I'm always happy on Fridays because, I mean, it's my rest period. Good morning, Jen.
Good morning.
Good morning, Moses.
Good morning to you, Prof.
Beautiful people, good to have you. Good morning, Otumba. Good to have you this morning.
Oh, yes.
All right, well, in the next 2 hours, we are going to take you through very interesting stories about what happened in Nigeria.